Shalom, shalom. We back with it. Coming at you with another day of, hey man, every day, bro. Every day. We find something every day. Every day we be. Every day he making them drop the pieces. He making them drop them pieces, and we get that information every day. Only thing we need to seek is the instructions to how we gonna, the revelations of the information to move in those instructions to really carry out all that we got, everything that we receive. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, for real, like, cause it's silent wars, like, bro. And I had ran. I'm coming at y'all with a topic today because I ran across this, like, and I said a while back, months ago. I'm in trade school. I'm almost out of trade school now. I said I was still early. In me being here. So, mind you, I'm asleep because we dealing with CERN with them opening black holes and opening portals and all these shadow and all that, man, bro. That's here. That's already here, bro. And I used to go through that when I was younger. I'm 20. I used to go through that when I was younger. So I know it been here. It's just, they speak on it sometimes and then it die down. Niggas forget about it. It be so much propagation. It be so much on social media that have us thinking on some other shit. MK Ultra, all that. But a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, bro, it was already kind of like here, bro. Unless we reading it from the scripture. And we reading from the scripture, and he's saying it's finna come to pass. You know what I'm saying? And it's not subliminal talk, but in scenario, talking in scenario, like he telling us like, oh, it's finna come to pass. Or if you know a certain prophecy that's finna come to pass concerning certain nations, and you watching it unfold, and you be like, okay, boom, like, bro. Nigga, it's many wars going on, bro. We talking about because we dealing with corporations. We dealing with corporations and companies as well, bro. We dealing with it, bro. Because of some fact, nigga. Alright, if you look at it, this whole world is running on biometrics. I ain't just trying to hit this note, hit that tip on this, on that topic on this. But I gotta make a spider web. I gotta make a web. You know how we used to do in school. I gotta make a web with the circle, the big circle in the middle, then the circle everywhere. I gotta make one. I gotta put that. I gotta make you imagine. So look, boom. We make the big circle, right? Boom. We gonna make it simple, really. We're gonna put everything. We can just put simply everything, right? So boom, we're gonna make one bubble, boom. We'll web, bubble, bang. So look, now boom. Morgellon, right? Now you see this picture, it say the quad epidemic as close as your back door, your backyard. Now I'm gonna go to this topic where I said I ran across this while back. I'm gonna tell you the dream before I actually ran across the information. So boom, sleep. Now mind you, the night before, I was already looking at Mystery Babylon. I was looking at how they was building a tent. Right now they doing it. The writing on the wall, all that. When Daniel was talking about that Persia, all them. Nigga, they doing it right now. The helmets, the blue helmet surgeons, all that. Bruh. Nigga, Babylon fell already, bro. Babylon already fall. Like, it fell, but it's just still, it looked like it's still running. Babylon already fell, bro. But look. I'm gonna start from the night before. So look. I'm looking at Mystery Babylon. Now, if I can go to the reference of the dude I was watching, one of the older op. He was an older op. So I'm looking at him, right? He was just talking about Mystery Babylon. Matter of fact, man, we ain't gotta just talk about it, bro. We gonna go to all the the notes. We got the we gonna get to it, man. We gotta get to it, bro. Cause for one, this never spoken on. Like this one particular quad warfare. This one particular quad warfare and principality is never spoken. You never hear about it. So we got to get into it, bro. Alright, so I'm going to go to Mystery Babylon, right? If I can find his name. If I really just want to go to his page, though. On YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm going to go to his page. I got to find his page, man. So it's David Ministries. That's what it is. Because it's popping up in mine, man. That shows you, he working, man. Them angels moving, bro. Them angels moving. So look. Ministries. Right? We finna get to it, bro. We finna get to it. Ministries. We gotta get to it, bro. David Ministries. Hopefully he can pull up. I need him to pull up. I need that to pull up, man. Okay. Damn. What is that? I know it's David Ministries. Let me see, man. Okay, I'm just type in Mystery Babylon. He should pop clean up, man. He should pop clean up, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He should pop clean up. I'm trying to get him. I gotta get him. Cause he broke it down good. He broke it down the principalities people gonna be using. How they gonna be trying to build a damn, while Babylon falling, they still be trying to build the damn tower. They still gonna be trying to build when Abba already smit the land. Everybody can't. They don't even understand everybody's tongue. Like his brother in tongue, he smit the land already. He don't even, bro. We gotta get the scroll. Let's get the scroll. Until I found the video, I'm gonna get the scrolls. So look, I'm gonna get that. Let me get that. Shalaki, bear with me. Babylon, tongue smit. Land smit. Land smit. Smite, tongue. Let me see. Land, smite, tongue, tongue disarray among the builders. Disarray. Tongue disarray. Tongue disarray among the builders. We got to get there, bro. Shalaki, bear with me. Let me see. Cause they probably gonna take me straight to the, bro, we gotta get that, bro. We gotta get that. I had just ran across a vid, and it was almost like wasn't like a cartoon, but it was like a real graphic vid on YouTube, right? And it was talking about how they was building, how they was building the Tower of Babel, boom. Then like the dudes that was in, bro, one of the dudes, he had like, I can't think of his name, but if I get this, I gotta get these vids though, bro. I'm gonna go to David. I gotta go to David Ministry. I gotta go to his ministry. I gotta go to his ministry, man. His ministry. Oh, I think it's called Anointed David Ministries. Anointed David Ministries. The old ark, man, he brought. I like how he brought that out. I'm trying to Man, bro, they know they can give me that. They know they can give me his page, man. They know they can give me his page. Let me see. Damn, man. Shalaki. Man, they know they can give me his page. Man, let me see, man. Let me see. Dang, man, I'm trying to find it, bro. Let me see. Oh, bro. Damn, man. Let me see. I know they gonna bring it up somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere. Come on, man. Give me his page. Let me see if they got his page, man. I need that page, bro. I wonder if I can look it up on my. No, they got that mug, man. Man. So lucky. So yeah, we back with it, man. I couldn't find it, unfortunately, but we gotta go and get into the Tower of Babel, right? So the Tower of Babel, right? And it said, let me see. Okay, according to the story, a united human race speaking a single language migrating eastward comes to the land of Shinar. There they agreed to build a city, a tower with its top in the sky. Yahweh, observing the city and tower, confounds their speech. See, this where he gonna smite the land, and they ain't gonna be able to tell their neighbor speech. He confounds their speech so that they can no longer understand each other, and scatters them among the world. Some modern scholars have associated the Tower of Babel with known structures, notably the Naki. Oh my God, man. Okay, dedicated to the Mesopotamia and Marduk and Babylon, right? And Samaria. Story with some similar elements is told in the same one in Marokar. Damn, that's almost say America. You might always say that, and that's what it sounds like, but it's just spelled different though. But look, now the whole earth had one language and the same words, and as they migrated from the east, they came upon the plain and land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks." And if we go, pause right there. But if we go into the, cause it state this in the Apocrypha. If we go into the Apocrypha, they was throwing bricks down like while they was building, trying to build this tower. Man, it was wars going on and everything. They were fighting wars. Look, they were fighting wars, right? These people were fighting wars while they was building the tower. So meanwhile, while they building, they holding up their tools, whatever they using to build, to mount, and everything. They were still fighting wars. You know? So some of the bricks that couldn't be used, they'll throw it down, and it'll hit some of the people below. You know, like say like you higher, and you throw a brick down, boom, and it hit. You know what I'm saying? One of the builders, and they end up dying and shit. Nah, you know, excuse my heat break, but let's be real, they end up dying. Bruh, it was all, bruh, if we go to that, it was all that going on, bruh. But we're gonna stick to this right here. We gotta stick to one objective at a time, so let's get it. Now look, it said, and they had brick for stone and bitumen for mortar. And then and pause right there. If you look at it in the scriptures, I think in Isaiah or Ezekiel. This motive they talking about, man, the same motive they was using that to destroy man's soul. They was using that same. They using that in this Russian and Ukraine war, bro. They use the same thing, bro. They building empires through people's souls and all, man, bro. It's hey, man, the times we in. Look, man, for real. But look, then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its tops in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we shall be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth." The Lord, Yahweh Shah, came down to see the city and the tower which Motels had built, right? So, and the Lord said, "Look, these are one people, and they all have one language." Mind you, they was all on one accord. They had the same language. That's how they build. That's back in the time it was dialect, bro. It was heavily stricken on dialect. You know, everybody had their dialects, and you have these multitudes where they speaking among themselves, and they knew each other dialect, and then the same difference. But look, said they all have one language. Okay, now look, and this only the beginning of what they will do. Nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language there, so that they will not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them. You know what I'm saying? He scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth. Look, and they let off building the city. Therefore, it was called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of all the earth. Not just in that, you know what I'm saying, and that standing point right there. Not in that pin, you know what I'm saying, point right there, but the earth, the whole earth. Right? So from there, the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the earth. That's Genesis 11 and 9. 11 and 1 through 9. Right? So the phrase, the Tower of Babel does not appear in the Bible. It is always, right? It is always the city in the tower, or just the city. The original derivation of the name Babel, also the Hebrew name for Babylon, is uncertain. The native Akkadian, you can go look at that in the book of Jasher. They talk about him in the book of Jasher. Some of his men, like, that was dying. They was getting killed and put in ditches and all type of, you know. We ain't gonna digress, but look, this was going on. Look, name of the city was Babylon, meaning gate of God. Now you see that, right? That's how you know it was full of blasphemy. You see a lot of blasphemy today. But look at this though. Check this out though. The gate of God, it means the gate of God. However, the form and interpretation itself are now usually thought to be the result of Akkadian. Folk etymology applied to gold, an earlier form of the name Bibla. Damn, Bibla. Man. Okay, Bibla. Of unknown meaning and probably non-Semitic origin, according to the Bible. So the name wasn't even Semitic. You know what I'm saying? It was from Babel. So it was looked at as a heathen. It had a heathen, origin. So look, according to the Bible, the city received the name Babel from the Hebrew verb Uh, I ain't gonna try to pronounce that shit, but meaning to jumble or to confuse, and that so they got the name based on when he smite the land. The fact that they thought they was finna build a tower up there to the third heavens. He smite the land like, okay, yeah, we finna. You think you finna do? You think you finna do that? We finna smite, right? So boom. Now, let's go. Now that's got all type of other stuff going on. Let's see. It's just talking about now the Book of Jubilees. While we're talking about it, yeah. See, I can use this way we talking about it. Okay. Now they began to build in the fourth week. They made bricks with fire, and the bricks served them for stone. And they clay, and the clay, with which they cemented them together was alpha salt, which come from out of the sea, and out of the fountain of the water of the land. In the land of Shinar, and they built it 40 and 3 years. Where they building it is breaded was 203 bricks, right? And the height of a brick was the third of one. Its height amounted to 5,433. Right? It's lucky. So look, the cubits and the two palms and the extent of the one wall was 13 stads, however you want to put it, and the other 30 stads, jubilees 10 and 20 through 21. You know, well, that was the end of that. You know, pretty much. So look, we gotta get this too, cause this is bro. We in the same time right now. Josephus Antiquities, whatever, however you say that. But you get what I'm saying. If I put it on screen, you will get what I'm saying, though. Of the Jews, the Jew and / Roman historian Flavius Josephus. During that time, you know, it was our brethren that was carried to Babylon, just when they seized Jerusalem or whatnot. They did all that, and captives were taken. Some of the 10 lost tribes that was taken to Babylon, man, right? And it stated recounted history as found in the Hebrew Bible mentioned the Tower of Babel. He wrote that it was Nimrod who had the tower. Yup, sure right, because you still can go in the Apocrypha and find the same thing. Right? He had the tower built, and that Nimrod was tyrant who tried to turn the people away from God. Right? What we seeing now, man? We just seeing it's out of order in the city. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of order. A lot of non-order functions going on within the city. It's lucky. It's a lot of non-order going on within the city, man. But look, let me see. It said, in this account, God confused the people rather than destroying them, because annihilation with a flood had not taught them to be godly. Would not have taught them to be godly. It stated. Now it was Nimrod who excited them to such an affront and contempt of God, the God of Israel, who was the grandson. He was the grandson of Ham, which is, the son of Noah, a bold man. Right? So that means he was looked at as an African. He was basically an African. Now he said he was the son of Noah. But look, because man, That's kind of rocky right there. I don't even want to get into descriptions right now because I got posters. I got flyers on that, but we ain't gonna get into that. Okay, in a great strength of hand, he persuaded them, right? He persuaded them not to ascribe it to be the God of Israel, as if it were though his means they were happy, but to believe that it was their own courage was procured the happiness. He also gradually changed the government into tyranny. You know what I'm saying? What we seeing now, man? Israel, you see Israel just doing whatever. And it's because of these wicked kings on the earth. You know what I'm saying? We got some wicked kings and rulers on the earth, bro. Who giving them a say so. And they happy. They thinking they getting blessed by God. The whole time you got a man who want to build a tower. I heard today I said it's a lot of blasphemy right now. I was doing my geometry, some of my decoding. It stated a lot of, and I've been saying 9/11 a lot. Stated, man, it was a lot of blasphemy. So I gotta get the scripture on there and get that together, and I'm gonna put it together and bring it to y'all. But that's going on. It's around you. You see it. You see all the acts. You see the no morals, the no discipline. You see it, man. You see it. But look. Let me get back to it. And it says, seeing no other way of turning man from the fear of God, but to bring them into a constant dependence on his power. Now the multitude was very ready to follow the determination of Nimrod, and to esteem if a piece of cowardice to submit to God, the God of Israel, and they built a tower neither sparing any pains nor being in any degree negligent about the work, and by reason of the multitude of the hands employed in it, it grew very high sooner than they did. When it's talking about it grew very high, as that tower grew, the multitude of the people who built it grew. You know what I'm saying? Whatever religion he had going on to follow him, it grew. You know what I'm saying? We seeing it now. All you see is green helmets, blue helmets, and all these hard hats. You know what I'm saying? They giving you the signs, bro. Bro. Same thing going on right now, bro. They taking, certain brothers who was they captive in Babylon too, but they had a statue. They had some type of high esteem, and even in Babylon, they were just like Joseph in Egypt. It was kind of like the same scenario. And they took them off their posts, and then they got the building. So what Abba, do? What he do? He smite the land. Now people don't understand. They don't understand they neighbor tongue. They don't understand it. He confounded that work. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't happened yet, according to this matter, it's finna happen. Because it already happened back then, and where they could tell you now, but we seeing them helmets, man. They trying to build it. They trying to build that tower. Now it's full of blasphemies out here. You say something about God, they get to joking. They get to saying something off the wall, joking. You know what I'm saying? You do anything that reference God, nigga, they joke. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with indoctrination technology. This is all that going on, bro. So like you. Like where I'm at. Let me see. Said that it might not be liable to emit water. Damn, I'm all the way down here though. Let's see. No, it grew very high. Soon than anyone could expect, but the thickness of it was so great, and it was so strongly built that thereby it great height seemed upon the view to be less than it really was. So like, alright, we back with it. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off at, right? And let me see. Okay, yeah. So the termination of Nimrod to establish. I have to give me some air too. So if y'all hear a fan in the back, Salaki, bear with me. To esteem it a piece of cowardice to submit to God, and they built a tower, neither sparing any pains nor being in any degree negligent about the work, and by reason of the multitude of hands employed in it, and it grew very high, sooner than any one could expect. But the thickness of it was so great, and it was so strongly built, that thereby its great height seemed, right? It seemed upon the view to be less than it really was, and it was built like as a burnt brick, cemented together with mortar, made of. I think I said no. It came back to the same thing. Okay, all right. It's like, bear with me. Bear with me. We back. Okay, boom. Butament, right? So that it not be liable to emit water. When the God of Israel saw that they acted so madly, he did not resolve to destroy them utterly, since they were not grown wiser by the destruction of the former. So we with it, right? We with it. That it might not be liable to emit water when the God of Israel saw that they had madly. Okay, now that was during the time of days of Noah, right? So when they was talking about he didn't destroy them utterly, because they ain't had their wisdom, even from the time of the destruction of the former sinners, back during the flood, days of Noah, right? So look, that was his father. Who was that? That was his father, though. Nimrod was the son of Noah. So look, but it caused a tumult among them by producing in them diverse languages, and caused that through the multitude of those languages they should not be able to understand one another. The place wherein they built the tower is now called Babylon, because of the confusion of that language, what they readily understood before. For the Hebrews mean the word Babel. Mean by the word Babel, confusion, right? The assembly. The symbol, right? The symbol. Also makes mention of this tower and of the confusion of the language, when she says, thus, when all men was one language, some of them built a high tower as if they would thereby ascend up to the heaven, the third heaven, remember? But the God sent storms of wind, overthrew the tower, and gave everyone a peculiar language. For this is the reason it was that the city was called Babylon. Alright? Now look at this. I'm gonna just get one little part of this though. Look, and the Lord appeared. This supposed to be the third apocalypse of Baruch, right? And the Lord appeared, to them and confused their speech. And when they had built the tower to the height of 463 cubits, now, and they took a gimlet. They took a gimlet, and sought to pierce the third heavens, saying, "Let us see whether the third heavens is made of clay, brass, and iron, and of iron." When the God of Israel saw this, he did not permit them, but smote them with blindness and confusion of speech, and rendered them as those seers. Crazy, right? But now we finna get to the Morgellons. I just had to really get that down and really screw that in, right? I had to tell about the king of the Babel, all that. So look, we're gonna get the Morgellon right in a little bit. It's like we back with it. So look, now we back on the Morgellon, man. Why did I stop off with that? Do structure, okay. It said if you look at Morgellon fibers, you will see there are a little bit more complex than a simple fungus. They are kinds of organs inside. They have little red stem cells and an unknown species that are self-replicating as well. And apparently they produce other structures this looks like a sporin body. Sporin body, you know how they got it's like this fungi. Like it's a real fungi, but then you got the biomechanical fungi, right? You got these biomechanical fungi to where it's like they like implants. It's this real fungi. I knew a dude, right? His name was they called him, damn, what was his name? His name was, I know his last name was Thompson. I forget his first name though. But he was a Thompson, right? Cause I knew his son. His son went with me. We was around almost the same age. I was older a little bit though. And so I'm chilling. We chilling. This in the country though. We chilling. It's like it was kind of like a naturalist spot, but it was like we chilling. So we bumping music and all that. And he got to scraping his leg, and it was like black stuff all on his leg, and he got to telling me what was like the condition of it. And then I found out. That's when I really found out about Morgellon, but I didn't know the name. I didn't know it was Morgellon at the time until later on. I got in trade school and found the documentary, found the PDF. So I've been seeing the condition of it. Like I seen the full blown condition of it. But I didn't really see what it was or the real name until I got here. Until I got the information, and then seeing the woman who had a whole website of it and had a whole video talking about it. So I'm like, okay, boom. And then, but I already knew it was a fungi. It was like a plant spore of fungi, and it moved like it's a smart fungi. Like it moved on its own, all that. Like he got so used to having it to where he knew the movement of it. Like he knew how to describe like everything it was doing, like it was like he was so used to having it to where he knew the movement, like the characteristics of it, like description and all. I'm like, bruh, you gotta really be observing it because it's on you anyway. Like it's already on you anyway, so you gonna feel the movement on your body. If you already aware that it's on you, you gonna already pretty much know that okay, boom, this is what it is. But yeah, man, we ain't gonna digress because I gotta get back to this to show y'all how nigga they was just, bro. I gotta show y'all something right quick. I gotta show y'all. So look at this, bro. It said red stem cells of unknown species that are self-replicating as well. Apparently, they produce other structures. This looks like a sporing body. It's like a unit where the melissa at a certain point is forming a mushroom, a fruiting body. Then from the fruiting body, you would expect. And then that's crazy. Look, I got an oct right now. He'll take a flight with mushrooms, which is kind of crazy because a while back, you know what I'm saying, I was on my journey. A while back, I used to sit at like this train, it was like this train track monument. You know how, I don't know if they got them in the city, but like if you in the country, they got like the little pole, the little monument, the train pole, where it's telling you how that train track been there. You know, it tell you all about the history of it. And I was sitting right, it's like a little post right there. And I was sitting right there, boom. But I had went to go get nature that same day, and I was seeing mushrooms, and I started picking them up. Like when I was little, I used to see them all the time, but I used to think they was like poison and shit, so I ain't never messed with them. So one day I decided to pick them up, and then I was manifesting that day. So man, I got them, bruh. I ain't never used them for like, cause I know people who do them. Like my he actually healed with them. Like he had put me on them. Like I ain't even really just went into it yet. Like he already had put me on it, but I already had. I was using them. What you call it? The mushrooms from. You know how they stick out the ground. I was using them like that, but I was using them for a different purpose. He using them to heal. Like he actually buying mushrooms, the ones you can eat and you can heal or whatnot. You know. So you know how they go, bro. You know how they go. But yeah. So look. It said if this is a mushroom and this is a fungus, no, I'm all the way back. Okay, and then from the fruiting body, you expect the spores for the next generation. If this is a mushroom and this is a fungi, which is a fungus, so this seems to be the containment for the spores because you put this into the petri dish, right? You can see the next generation growing. Other things you find out is getting fragments of insect skin being extracted from the Morgellons victim. Cause you know, like this, that's when you get to, like lately, all I've been seeing is ladybugs. Even back then, when I'm telling y'all about this mushroom that I used to manifest one time, it was real deal. I always used to see ladybug and shit. Back then I used to always see them now, but now I know exactly what it is. It's an infestation. Cause like cause mind you, I used to have a dorm to myself. The same dorm I used to have it to myself. I never really seen no bugs in it. As a matter of fact, bro, they be everywhere. They all on my damn cords and shit now. But one just hit me in my damn face not too long ago. That's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, this is really a principality. It's not even like, oh, this a regular thing. Nigga, it's an infestation, bro. Tell you. So, and it's a weapon. A lot of people use it. Cause these same insects, because you got insectoids and parasitic bugs and shit that can literally body snatch you. Like a lot of people use this shit like as a weapon. So they'll create environments of infestation, you know, for them to be like a hive. It'll be like a whole hive in the environment. in a certain remotely location, station, environment. They're a real deal. Be like, okay. So like they wanna, cause bro, there's all type of schemes out here, bro. People run their game and they run their schemes all day. But look, man, look. They'll end up be like, okay, we gonna put this here, cause it's body snatching. You gotta understand, we in the days of Noah, bro. Nephilim, everybody. If you look around, there's a lot of people ain't even in their original height, bro. Cause this hybrid shit going on, bro. I'm walking around, I'm seeing people legs longer than they was before, and all type of shit. Like this ain't no game or gimmick. Like this is real deal. Like nigga, like this real deal. Nigga, the Bible talk about nigga when what was that? When them angels came down and they was having sex with the daughters of men, and then they was creating giants and shit. Nigga, we dealing with that same time. We still dealing with the same time when Satan, when Shaitan fell from the third heaven, and then he came here, he fell here. So how can we how can we not think that ain't going on when if we look around, nigga, the same war still going on, nigga. He never left here, really. He never left here. Then, nigga, we still dealing with giants. It's just now, nigga, the giants ain't giants. They small giants. Nigga, they can be miniature giants. They be height. They height, and it heightened. Now, as we look at giants now, it's different. If you look at how back then, that's when it kicked off. That's when everything really conspired. But now, hybrid and being and mutating people and all that and making them tall and shit, it's people doing that right now. That's why now all you hearing about is, oh, my son or my daughter, or because this is hybrid families. People are creating mutation of hybrid families, bro. That's it. That's all it is. This ain't no, oh man, we just trying to keep it in the family. That may be the case, but I'm going off the times, bro. And based on the times, people are making hybrid families. I can go to this YouTube, right now, and it ain't all about YouTube, but the information is being given. So nigga, I'ma use it to the max, to the extent. You know what I'm saying? He allowing all this information to ruminate. So it gotta be used for something. Until they take their platform back. So nigga, I was just looking at a vid, right? And they was telling how they was gonna be worshiping poles from what you call it? What was the god name? The asteroid. It's something like that. Let me see. I'm finna go to it, man. We ain't, you know how it is. Know how it is, man. You gotta go to everything. That way you won't just be words flowing. Words just floating and shit. We gotta, always go to the source. Always go to the source, bro. So boom. Cause it's crazy how soon this how I know this used as a weapon. Now, mind you, I said I had a room to myself, right? I probably seen a couple cause it was still being used back then. That's when I found out about it. I got the information. I actually had got a source for a reference from it. So right after I found that out, we always under surveillance. They always trying to, now it's a surveillance satellite. When they dealing with this technology of this infestation, nigga, they use satellites to track people with electromagnetic rays. Now they trying to shock motherfuckers. They trying to use all these electric lights and shocking people through mediums. They using all this damn media, this social media, and then using like all the damage that's being used up in that media, like people getting hurt or people getting killed. This is how they killing. This is like a killing, a therapeutic killing, and then we gain whatever, cause it's all spiritual and physical. So we gain whatever after that conspired. Say like they use a movie or they use a TV show or a series or episode. After that, nigga, they just gain it therapeutically. Everything that they wanted and they were looking to aim at and aim for to get for a spoil. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, that's what they aim for. It's a therapeutic gain at the end of the day. So let's get this Nephilim. So Days of Noah. Oh, it's not. I put Days of boy. Yeah, true. Nephilim. Nigga, we got books on this and everything, bro. Everybody know about this, bro. But it's a weapon. Everything you ever notice, everything that be against us, and we know it's against us, we use it for a weapon against other people who going through the same thing you going through. That's crazy to me, man. That's some crazy shit right there, bro. Crazy. Real, like. Let me see. Damn, how did I put that? I think body snatching. No, it talking about the agenda with transhumanism and this damn with that transhumanism, it unfold right along with that. Like the transhumanism, then they trying to push this transgenderism shit, you know. And it on the video, it's showing where it's gonna be this woman, right? So-called woman, right? And she gonna be the one. She gonna be pushing it. Bro, this shit is crazy, cause nigga, this how you know it's true. She gonna be pushing the dude, cause the dude gonna be the one, cause you know all the singularity, they gonna be trying to turn motherfuckers to robots. Boom. So look, this nigga, he like in the body of a robot, like his limbs is like robotic. And she gonna come up to him, boom. The world gonna be in like, it's gonna be like rubble. The video was like nigga, it was like rubble. So boom, nigga, she came to him and it was some type of, supposed to be like a divine thing, but it was really like a false divine thing. And she came to him, and then all the robotic stuff broke off. And then when you seen his body, he was naked after that. When you seen his body, nigga, it was in it was like a transgender form. You feel me? So, nigga, that agenda, it just shows you what it was. The woman gonna be pushing. And you see how they got the woman manly as hell now. All of them, you got women that's manly as hell. Like they opening doors for men. You know what I'm saying? There's videos on, bro. We got the information, bro. It's just nigga, every time we bring it out, niggas who upholding the agenda, nigga, they gon' bro. Soon you get to talking about it, they already set up instruments. They already set the instruments up, bro. So don't even fear it. Nigga, I've already said that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The persecution gonna happen. Nigga, they already got the instruments. We going these lost books. It's already happening. They already trying to infiltrate. They already trying to body snatch. They already doing it, bro. So we ain't gotta worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. They gonna do anything, bro. It's technology where they can make you look like something, make you feel like something, all that. So don't fear it. It's just technology, bro. Like, nigga, they gotta uphold their agenda. They ain't doing nothing but their job, bro. They ain't doing nothing but their job. That's why everybody hollering about a damn job. Some people, they actually, nigga, from the album, he really sending jobs. He really sending objectives. Then you got some people on the left hand where they talking about jobs, but they jobs be to go against motherfuckers who actually got real jobs, who actually got jobs from the album, who actually got objectives, who actually, nigga, was appointed. Not, oh, I'm gonna now these people on the left hand side and they got appointed from the left hand side, and then they trying to say, oh, Nah, bro, that ain't what it is. We know the difference. Cause you damn, you know, your action gonna show it. You know, your attention's gonna show. We in a time, nigga, ain't nothing gonna be concealed. Your attention gonna show. The enemies who really been enemies gonna show, and they been showing, bro. They been showing. Keep the discernment, keep the focus, and you gonna see. Nigga, you gonna see, even if they trying to make you lose your focus, nigga, I've already said, nigga, it's gonna be blind people going to see. They steady trying to switch the narrative on that, but it ain't gonna switch, bro. It ain't gonna switch, man. Like, body snatching and all that, man, don't work, man. When you already know what's going on. All you gonna try to do is boggle the mind. You gonna try to make the mind buffle and boggle and, you know, whatever you call it. Buffle. I'm gonna just say buffle. That's all they gonna try to do. They gonna try to fuck with the mind, man. That's it. Yeah, here you go right here. No, the woman was in a, she was in a, cause you understand the hybrid is, nigga, a human that got animal limbs and shit. Then it's this dude right here. He in a transgender ass body. Crazy, bro. Crazy. I'm trying to seek it out, none of that. But look, we finna get back to that though, bro. Cause it's crazy as hell out here, bro. You'll know what come from the left hand. You'll know what come from the left hand for sure. Shit out here crazy, bro. Soon I find that shit. Soon I find the you know. Let me see, man. They should have the video. Nigga, bro, I'm gonna tell you something too. Nigga, when I was in the country, you see how they using insects? Nigga, they was using dogs too. Nigga, I was dealing with Matrix. I mean, not Matrix, but Mason motherfuckers around that time. Cause in that territory, in that region, nigga, it's Masons. You look at the damn plates, nigga, it's nothing but the G with a damn pencil and all that shit that look like a triangle. Nigga, it was nothing but Masons, bro. Nigga, bro, around that time, nigga, I would pitch a tent. Like, I would just pitch a tent at the time. Like, that's what I was doing the most. Cause bro, it started getting them in the family. So niggas had to pitch tent. You know, so, nigga, I was seeing a lot of, like, happening. I was seeing weird occurrences. People within the town, nigga, we never seen. They walking around and don't nobody know them. Nobody know them. So it's like people was getting filtered in, bro. Like, that was really getting filtered in. Nigga, I just passed them and said, gay is a new world order. That's one big main objective. That's how the transhumanism gonna come about. That's what all transhumanism is about. Some gay shit. As you seeing, nigga, we seeing. If I go back to that picture, it's showing how the woman who all in this damn this human but animal form, this hybrid. She looking at the dude and he in a transgender body. I mean, right now we got niggas painting their nails and shit. Nigga, that gender already pushed. They using some of the idols, nigga, that niggas is worshiping. They the one who pushing it. And now, since you idolizing, you pushing among the local, among the local. You pushing among the local, bro. And then all we hear is real niggas. That ain't no real nigga when you trying to make niggas gay. Make niggas being from their authentic gender, who they is, who they was meant to be in gender. Come on, man. That ain't no real nigga shit right there, bro. Niggas just want the benefits. That's all it is. The benefits is all what niggas want. They don't care what it take. They can nigga that have a whole society or a whole environment that's going gay. As long as they getting benefits, it don't matter. That just shows you where people mind be at, bro. They don't give a damn. They got people that come in. It might seem like they for the people, but whole time, nigga, they pushing agendas. They just a damn figure that's pushing agendas. For niggas who they idolize. For people who they idolize. You know? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. For people who they idolize, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then you got of course you gonna have millions. So every little move you make, nigga, they gotta counteract it. They gotta be millionized first, bro. That just shows you what's going on, man. The left hand side is everywhere. Nigga, it ain't hard to see that. The left hand side everywhere, nigga, from the routine of what you do, from time you lay down, nigga, we got people watching us while we sleep, all type of shit, man. I don't put nothing past it. Once I see it the first time, I ain't gonna back off from it and be like, oh, it's just that, and then leave it alone. Nah, bro, when you show me what it is, I'ma move according to what it is. What real purpose of somebody watching you while you sleep? It's dark as hell. You know. No, I don't really see what the fuck that is. Like what that's about, bro. We gonna keep it raw and rough, like for real. You know what I'm saying? Man, I still ain't found this damn video, bro. Gotta keep it raw and rough, bro. Shit, people do any damn thing, bro. Oh, I need that video. I want to see what that's about. So the Days of Noah parallel. Nigga, then if you look at you know how before you click on the video, you gotta see what the little picture be like. Man, I look at the picture, nigga, they got niggas' heads as TVs, radios, and nigga, if that ain't what's going on, and niggas' head ringing, and all these, you can tell your head is like a satellite, and niggas using it as a damn medium. Man, if you don't see that shit, if you ain't going through that, bro, if you ain't going through it, you blessed. It just ain't hit you yet. Cause a lot of people going through the same thing, bro.
And I would like to take this opportunity on my YouTube channel to share with you what I think is a very strange prophetic parallel. Those of you that have followed our ministry for many years, I've been preaching for 46 years, traveling the nation and the world. We have a television program called Manifest, so many of you have kept up with us for a long time. You know that there's a particular subject that I enjoy, and that is to take what we call the scriptures of history, the Old Testament, and begin to show the parallels of how that which has been is that which shall be. That's in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9 and 10. And it's very important that you understand that the scripture teaches us that history will go in cycles. Now, one of the big examples is in Genesis chapter 11. There is the Tower of Babel, which is built. Men were one language. Men were working together to build a global government and empire, which did exist from the area of the land of Shinar under a man named Nimrod. When you come to the very time of the end, in the book of Revelation chapters 17 and 18, you have what's called Mystery Babylon. And we know there's all this talk about global government, one currency, and so forth. And so that's parallel to Genesis chapter 11. We can go into all that Genesis teaching, but actually it would take too long because I do these as many nuggets, M-I-N-I, or many prophetic nuggets. Now, in the story of the time of the end, or the time in which the Messiah would return, Christ made this statement, and it's recorded in Luke It's also recorded in Matthew 24 that as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be at the time of the coming of the Son of Man. Now, translating that into modern vernacular, whatever happened in Noah and Lot's day is going to repeat itself at the time that Christ will return. One of the things that always really fascinated me about the story of Noah is that Jesus basically said that in the days of Noah they are eating, drinking, married, given in marriage until the day that they entered the ark. And that's basically what it tells you. But when you go into the story of the flood itself, both the pre-flood, during the flood, and after the flood, you get all of these unusual nuggets that begin to parallel the days of which we're living in. Now, the story of Noah actually begins in Genesis chapter 6 and also Genesis chapter 7. Genesis 6 are the signs of the time of Noah and the description of the ark that he would build. And chapter 7 begins to take you into the moments before and during the flood. So what I would like to do for a moment is I would like to read a verse to you that has always confounded me. And here's what it says. This deals again, Genesis 6:4, with the days of Noah. There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men and bare children to them, and the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And it mentions here the word giants. Now, in the Old Testament, there's giants which are the Nephilim and also the Rephaim. There's another group called the Zumzamin and the Anakim. And these were the names of a race of giant men that existed on the earth.
So look,
many of them before
outside of them same species of giants, so-called, you have these what they would call alien races, but I don't really use alien because that's like more of it's more of a heightened name to use. So I just use foreign species because they still undetected or whatnot. They still undetected, you know. So the fact that it's racist like that, cause that's being used. Nigga, we got technology, bro. It's so much technology here, nigga. Like I say, bro, I've been saying this, nigga, since I was like I was more like, nigga, like 16. I'm 20 now, but I was saying this back when I was like 16. I was like, bro, do you not know Egypt had technology, nigga, way advanced than the shit we using now? I'm saying that as in like, you know, so imagine we get all this and it comes by and we thinking all this just new technology the whole time, man. It's been here. Everything we been getting experiment with, it's been here, bro. Been here. Like, it been here, bro. So yo, we back with it, boom. So boom, you think for a fact, if you look at it from bro, you think we don't have these technologies, bro. Then you think with these same technologies, it's not systems created. You think with these same systems from these technologies, you think niggas ain't getting tortured and harassed and monitored everywhere they turn, and bro, you think that ain't going on, bro? Because you gotta understand, this multitude, they come with their own society. They built their own little secret society. It don't really be a secret, because you know, once you see who is who, you see who always rolling together, who always hanging together, then you see, like, okay, damn, they with the same pack, they with the same crew, they with the same whatever. So it ain't, it's more so like, it ain't really like, okay, damn, these people, it ain't really like that no more. It's really like so much like, you know. But look, man, listen, a lot of this shit, bro, it's like, it's crazy, bro. It's really crazy. Like, once you really get into it, I don't mean to just pause like that, but like when you really just get into it, bro, you really just look at it like, damn, it's really happening. It's really, nigga, it's really getting down with the get down, bro. Like, but I ain't gonna I'm gonna just let the video talk, and then I'm gonna get my notes. I'm gonna get what I got from DARPA around that time when I got that information about the Morgellons, what I got from them, boom. Then I'm gonna get some more on a reference of the PDF that I got now. Again, that time lapse, and we're gonna keep it right.
For the time of Noah's flood, and Noah's flood was about 1,558 years after the creation of Adam. And then after the flood, there was also a series of giants that came to earth, and these were finally killed by King David and his mighty men. They're recorded in the scripture. Their names are, you have Goliath, Saph, Ishbibenoth, you have the giant from Gath, and you have Lami, who was Goliath's brother. They're actually named. So David killed Goliath as a teenager, and his 4 mighty men killed the other 4 giants. And he began to destroy the race of giants that were on the earth. Now, the interesting part, and we're not going to get into this because, number one, it's very controversial, and number two, it would take way too long. But the Bible says the Bnei Elohim, which are the sons of God, came into the daughters of men. Where this phrase is used, of the Bnei Elohim, it is also used in the book of Job, talking about the angels of God that are at the throne room, courtroom in heaven, when Satan came to try to attack Job. The angels are called the Bnei Elohim in that chapter 1 and 2, sons of God. Now, without going into major theological discourse here, the early church fathers, a majority of them that studied the mystery of the giants, Josephus even talks about the giants. There were historians that talked about the giants. They basically teach this, that the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, were not given to mankind until 2,500 years after the creation of Adam. So in order to teach men righteousness, God actually sent down angels in the form of humans. Now we know this can happen. Read Genesis chapter 19, the story of Lot. These 2 men were actually 2 angels. It makes it very clear. Paul talked about entertaining strangers who could be angels unaware. And so we don't understand the mystery of how it happened. We do believe it happened. And so God sent down angels to teach men righteousness. And what happened is when they took upon themselves the form of flesh, according to the historians, they became enamored with the daughters of men and were able to have relations with them. Someone said that's impossible because angels are neither married nor given in marriage. That's right. In spirit form. It can't happen. It's impossible because they're spirit. But when Christ, who pre-existed with the Father in heaven, became a man in the flesh, then guess what happened? He was tempted in all points as you and I, yet without sin. Now I'm going to leave it there because, again, it takes 2 hours of teaching. We do have I think it's a DVD or something on the mystery of giants and origin of evil spirits. And you can order that from our ministry if you want real long details about that. Now, having said that, this is what's important. So I looked at this and I said, okay, what did these giants do in Noah's day? Well, first of all, it says there was violence covering the earth. Then it says that man's thoughts of his heart were evil continually, and that man's imaginations was evil. Now, when you go to rabbinical commentaries, it will tell you that it was the giants that were causing the violence on the earth because the giants themselves were violent warriors. Then they also teach in many rabbinical commentaries that not only were the giants responsible for creating the violence that were in the earth, but the giants also assisted in the evil imaginations that men were involved with. In other words, there was a lot of sexual perversion, a lot of things that were really going on really bad in the days of Lot and Noah, and corruption and the mingling of the seed and the mingling of the flesh, etc. And some of you can read through what I'm trying to say to you. And so the point...
Look. You heard when he said that? We dealing with body mash. Nigga, like the harbor goes so... It's like so... Nigga, bro. Man, bro. It goes so deep, bro. It goes deep. Like, it ain't just hybrid, oh, you an animal, you this and you that. You know, it ain't that. It's like, nigga, anything. Like, it be like on so much of a technological, sexual matter too. Like everything be like, bro, we dealing with people trying to play with people's bowels. All of this, bro. Like, it, like in the days of life, days of Noah. What else, nigga? Dealing with these times of giants, nigga, it's crazy, bro. It get crazy for real, though. It get crazy. It really get crazy, man. It get crazy, bro. Like, bro, cause we seeing it now. I can't really just go in detail, cause I'm still like we still venturing through it. Like people who know about it and we sitting back talking about it, or other ops or other op wops, bro. Like man, it get crazy, bro, for real though. And then it get to the point where it gets so perverse around even our ops, even our brethren. It's to where, bro, it's like, nigga, it's crazy. It's like it really get crazy, bro. Like, cause they'll get perverse by it. Like if you aware of it going on and you seeing it, like you seeing it manifest, you seeing it like everywhere. It's like you gotta understand how legions work. You gotta understand how demons move. If we dealing with astral projection. I mean astral principalities too. Them nigga, I done dealt with those type of legions, nigga. They move like when them motherfuckers move, they move, man. When them legions and them so-called, bro, they move. I didn't, bro. Nigga, me staying in my mama's house, that's when I seen him the most. I seen the manifestation. I seen the evil sensation move a lot. All the wall, bro, man, bro. My 20 years, nigga, I just seen some principalities, bro. My little 20 years, bro. I just seen some principalities. Real principalities. I ain't talking about just no, I'm getting put, nah, cause you know, if you go all on YouTube, it's a lot of people saying they getting targeted or persecuted the whole time. They just not used to people watching them like that. So soon they start, they might feel like they a little too much spirituality. They a little bit more into spirituality than how they was when they first started out. That's when they start panicking. But that's what nature do. Nature do good for you. People like that, you gotta get in nature, bro. You gotta get grounded. And that's what, nigga, come summer, that's what I'm finna do. That's what we all should be doing. Get out the city. Man, how they talking about the city, bro? People really need to get out the city. Everybody trying to, cause they look at the city like, oh, we building or we doing this or, oh man, that ain't the case. Look at it from a I don't really like continue using the word spirituality, but look at it from an organic standpoint, a natural standpoint. I'm gonna use that. You look at it from that standpoint. Look at the attitude and dealing with those attitudes and certain moves. Look at how they behave. Look how they, you know, or look at how they trying to make someone else behave because they behaving in that manner. Just look at it, bro. And it's all in the city. You go to the town, it's happening, but it's not big. It's not so spaced out to where it's big like that. Like everybody, like in a town, nigga, it's country. So nigga, you can go to a town and it'll have, not even a town, you can just go off grid and nigga, it's spaced out. Nigga, you can go off in your own little cut. You know what I'm saying? Find your own little spot and you'll be good. And it might be a quiet spot, you'll be good. But nigga, if you go in the city, everybody bunched up, everybody from this block, everybody from over here, and then, bro, everybody everywhere. Everybody is everywhere, bro. Cause everybody go in the city, everybody go to everybody hood. So-called. Everybody go to everybody hood, or everybody go to everybody hood to go to they stores, or everybody go to somebody else territory to go to somebody gas station, or everybody go to somebody, bro. It's somebody always is somebody else. They stepping on somebody else's toes because now it's more so like territorial. People still trying to be territorial. Even though that's dying, that world dying, because you know we, like I said in the last video, we within worlds, we world within world, system within system, network within network. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? We can't really just be on that, bro. Like, if you really wanna really study this and really wanna see how it's really manifest, you know, how it's really coming about, you gotta get off grid. For one, you gotta, cause nature. While we still kind of got like nature, and it, like just right now, cause it's doing a lot of purging. Nigga, the organics is doing a lot of purging. And really, I ain't even gonna say organic, cause it, like, bro, it's so much stuff that's being sprayed on it. It's so much. It's different species among the nature, because everything they spraying, everything they put out here and polluting, it's different. It's small shit that you can't even see. You just can feel it. You can't even see. That's the bad part about it. And we got species here we can't see, but we only feel it. So it's unidentified. It's unidentified, bro. But we ain't gonna digress.
Point is that it was the giants that were causing this. So when God sent the flood, it was not just because of the wickedness of man, it was to destroy the race of giants. Now this whole idea about angels cohabitating with the daughters of men may sound weird, but if you'll go to the book of Jude, 2 Peter chapter 4, it plainly says that the angels that kept not their first estate, God has now bound in hell in chains of darkness. The Greek word hell in 2 Peter 2 and 4 is Tartarus, and among the Greeks it was the lowest hell underneath the earth. It was the lowest chamber in the lower compartment. So God had to take these angels off of the planet who fell into sin and confine them in the lower parts of the earth. And this is the reason why we have no giants being birthed in the earth. So as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be at the time of the coming of the Son of Man. That verse has always puzzled me. Well, a few days ago after this election took place, it really
did. Yeah, you gotta get wrong.
They have been calling
doing the what we call the days of, well, not what we call it, this is what it is, but days of Noah, nigga, and then the second coming, it's gonna be a lot. We still ain't seen the two witnesses yet. We still, you know, we still figuring out who finna come at the two witnesses. Real witnesses. Not we pushing agendas, but then I'm gonna come in and act like I got, you know, I know what's going on. The whole time I just came in act like I know what's going on, because I'm trying to get what I'm trying to get, but I'm still pushing the agenda so I can keep that position. We ain't talking about those type of people, bro. We talking about people who really witnessing, who ain't really like, who ain't being enticed by the shit that's being thrown out here, who ain't being deceived from the principalities that's being used. You know what I'm saying? All these mind-boggling and altering. It's a lot. We talking about those. We talking about real ones. We got real gifts from the hour. We're really going through this persecution because of that. Because they're speaking out about what's really going on among the propagation, over the propagation, over all the agenda, over the conspiracy schemes and the secret plots and all this. But niggas don't believe it, but we got prophets that's on the earth. We got judges that's on the earth. We ain't talking about nigga courthouse judges. We talking about judges of the earth that I was sent. We got them. We got elders here. We got priests. We ain't in our right format. That's all it is. We ain't in our right format, bro. Like back then, we actually had where this part, it was the priest. This part was the Levites. This part was the elders of the congregation. You know what I'm saying? Doing their due diligence. This part was the young teachers. This part, no, we had that. But captivity, all that conspired. History, people altering, you know what I'm saying? All that conspired. We already know that. We already know what's going on. And if you don't know, it's coming out now. So in a minute, you finna know. In a minute. Cause bro, we in age of information, age of revelation. The fact that we get all this information, that's another reason why it's getting dark. Cause he said when you get it, it's gonna be sweet at first. It's hitting a lot of people's stomachs, so it's bitter. That's why there's a lot of hostility. A lot of truth is coming out and it's being bitter, bro. It's being grievous. among a lot of people. Now, then you got people, they get that real truth and get what they do. Some people they get some type of real truth or get something that they can lean on and hang on, and they use it as a weapon for themselves. Or they be minionized, and then everything that the person who minionized them telling them to do, that's what they doing. And they using what they got, what they learned, to weaponize it. So don't be deceived, man. Though Abba said, he did say, you know, not when a Antichrist come, but you know, when the Antichrist come, because it's a lot of those on the earth. There's a lot, and that mainly be because they trying to do works and do all this. That's like they are God. It's gonna be, and then based on what we seeing now, good. Based on the scripture and the scroll, where they saying, boom. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fight the principality right now. But look, bro, it's mind-boggling, bro. Like, when you really just see the manifestation of what's conspiring, what's going on, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna make you tighten up and be like, yo, bro, we gonna do this. We gonna strategize. And then it's gonna be some people, they gonna see it and they might fall amongst it. They might be amongst it. Like, because you gotta understand, there's people who's doing the same thing I'm doing. They know what's going on, or they talking amongst they people who talk about the same thing and who be on the same thing. And then they ended up being among exactly what they was talking about. Like, it's people like that everywhere you look. It's a lot of people like that. They been know what's going on. That's why, nigga, when you find a principality, they already know how to move. They already know how to approach it and go about it, because they was doing the same thing you doing, but they fell among you, and they let it corrupt them. You know what I'm saying? So you'll know the difference when you run across it, though.
Calling themselves giants for years. The media even calls them giants. And ladies and gentlemen, the giants that are in the earth are giants that are parallel to the giants in the days of Noah, are the tech giants. That's right. Think about this. All of the tech giants, if the tech giants, for example, allow the pornography, it brings people into pornographic bondage. And so as it was with evil imaginations, as it was with corrupt thinking, evil imaginations, all of this comes through technology. It comes through the availability of what we call the internet. Now, we know this. The internet can be used for good and bad. However, think about how the secular media gets on and stirs things up and shows pictures and does reports, and next thing you know, they show a report of a group gathering in a city. But after they do their national report, here comes the mobs, here comes the people burning the cities, here comes the people throwing rocks, burning cars, whatever the case may be. And so my point is that our giants today are a different type of giant. But the giants that helped create the violence and the evil imaginations and the corruption and the mingling of the seed, was caused by, in our time, media. Whether it be cable media, whether it be internet sourced media.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to you, that this...
After he said that, what's being used the most? Media. They're using it for influence. They'll try to have you in different behaviors based on some media that they select. That's happening now. Give you some behavior that ain't your behavior. And then mimic your authentic behavior. That's what happened to man. We back with it, so the fact he brought up the media part, because the hybrid now is media. It is though. That was the first person I heard say it like that. But I just been seeing it like through experience though. Like damn nigga, they using the media to give people these certain behaviors and to perverse them, and you know what I'm saying, all this pornographic witchcraft and all this shit. They trying to bruh, dream and all, bro. Like perverse seduction. But you know.
This is a stunning parallel when you begin to think about it. Now, I might as well bring this out since I'm talking about it. What happened in the days of Noah to the giants? And the answer is the flood came. And when the flood came, it started destroying this race of giants that were in the earth. Now, I've thought to myself, okay, if God is so precise of the story of Noah, and it was a flood of water that wiped out the race of the giants, how would that impact what we're talking about with the giants that we face today? Well, I'm going to give you an interesting thought. Now, I always tell you, this is not from the Lord when it's not from the Lord. This is an interesting possibility. It's just an interesting thought. What if, for example, somewhere down in the future, a major tsunami were to strike the Pacific Ocean? I'm talking about a major one. The breaking of the fault line, similar to what we saw in Indonesia. What would happen is, sadly, the entire coast from the edge of Alaska, Washington State, Oregon, California would be affected by a tsunami. And even scientists have said this, that could be a wave of over 100 feet tall. And many of your media giants are on the coastal areas of the West Coast. Even in New York and places like that where we have these media giants, you find out that there was, even today, a very small earthquake up in Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Well, that's going to be a name on the song, media giant.
But what if a major tsunami, flood, flood waters, story of Noah, were to hit the east coast of the United States? It would affect all of the giants that are in the land. Now, let me say this again. I'm not predicting to you that's what's going to happen. I read this and I try to see in my own spirit or mind, how could the parallel come? So I want to just say to you, I thank you for joining me, but give me your attention for just a moment. In a few days, we will have in my hands at our office the book I have written. I have never been more excited about a book in my life. I've been writing since I was 18 years of age books. I've written over, probably with the small books that are out of print, probably about 80 books I've written in my lifetime. This one is the greatest update on what's happening now. We do parallels with COVID-19. I know of no one on the internet or no one that has published what I'm about to show you, which I researched for 1 solid month. Most viruses in history came out of China. And so this book is going to be amazing. So when I get it, I'm going to do a YouTube video. We only printed 25,000 copies. So I have to save some for my television program, Manifest, and I have to save some for my partners who are going to get them. So if you'd be interested in getting it, kind of keep it in the back of your mind. And when we announce it, we'll give you all the information of how you can order it from our office. Now the thing is, because we self-published it through the ministry, we don't have it on Amazon, and we don't have it in any bookstore, so therefore it's only available through our ministry. And what it helps us to do is we have millions of dollars worth of television airtime, and so when people obtain these books or resources, that's how we're able to keep our program on the air. And I know many of you know that and understand it. But here's what I'd like for you to do. Would you tell as many friends as you can to subscribe to the Perry Stone YouTube channel? If you think they kind of believe like we do and they love prophetic things and they love to learn, I believe it'll be a blessing. We have Baptists, Methodists, Catholics, Jewish people. We have Jewish people that are business people that they're not Christians as you and I would think, but yet they're individuals who really love the Bible. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you love the Bible teaching, we'd love to invite you to the Bible. Thank you. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel and never miss a video.
That's an ad, my bad. So we gotta go back to it. But yeah, man, that's the gist of it, though, man.
I made a special
John's is media heads, man. I think I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that same damn picture for that, cause I'm gonna make a song. I gotta. It's a lot of things I'm gonna use concerning the time as a servitude. You know what I'm saying? Cause a lot of us, we don't even really supposed to be teaching. Like, we really the music porters. Like, how they were rebuilding Jerusalem and shit. They was rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem, and they were talking about all the people positions. This is in Nephi. I mean, not Nephi. Oh my God, I said Nephi. I'm thinking about a record book. My bad. But this is in Nehemiah, Salaki. This in I think chapter 5. We're gonna start at like 4. Chapter 4 to like I'm gonna go to like 6. I'm gonna say 6. Like Nehemiah chapter 6. Chapter 4 to 6. And it were people trying to oppose trying to real deal coming. Just mess up the building of Jerusalem. Trying to persecute. I'm talking about why they building. They trying to persecute. But it's cool though. Okay, let's get another vid on that. Then we'll get back to the Morgellons. But first, I want to get that photo though. Sloppy. So, man, we back with it, man. So check it out. Check it out without your hand crossed, man. It says, I'm on the webinar called Big Think, right? Big Think. It's just another section, another sector. What I'm trying to, I'm trying to paint. So look, transhumanists wants to upload their minds to a computer they really want, which this probably already been circulating. People already know about it. Ooh. Just put my 2 cents on it too. And it's about immortality. So uploading your mind is not a path to immortality. Instead, it will create a possible hostile digital doppelganger. Right? So, listen. Low. I can get it to play now. I know it's still low, man. But I'm just reading. Okay, this concept of mind uploading is rooted in the very reasonable premise that the human brain, like in any system that obeys the laws of physics, can be modeled in a software if you devote sufficient computing power to the problem. To be clear, we're not talking about the modeling human brains in the abstract, but modeling very specific brains. Your brain, my brain, your Uncle Herbert's brain. I don't know why they said that, but it's funny. Each one represented in such extreme detail that every single neuron is accurately simulated, including all the complex connection among them. Right? Oh yeah, the way they trying to head with this, the farthest they trying to take it, it's like, boy, you understand? They trying to get so far from the humanity. It is an understatement, right, to say that modeling a unique individual human brain is a non-trivial trivial task. There are over 85 billion neurons in your head, each with thousands of links to other neurons. In total, there are about 100 trillion connections with it's unfathomable, large, a thousand times more than the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. It's trillion. It's those trillion of connections that make you who you are. Your personality, your memory, your fears, your skills, your peculiarity. Your mind is encoded in those 100 trillion connections. And so to accurately reproduce your mind in software, a system would need to precisely simulate the vast majority of those connections down to the most subtle interactions. It's lucky. Okay, so boom. Anytime I do what they talking about, it's a video right under YouTube. They saying new hope for humans in a artificial world. This is crazy, bro. These are none but Gentiles, bro. These are none but Edomites. None but Edomites who want to bring this about. All right. So absolutely that level of modeling will not be done by hand. People would believe in mind loading, envisioning automated scanning process, likely using some kind of supercharged MRI, I'm guessing just machine reality imaging machine, right? That captures the biology, the biology down to the resolutions that approach the molecular level. Then they envision the use of individual software to turn that scan into a simulation of each unique brain cell and its thousands of connections to other cells, right? So look, this is an extremely challenging task, but I cannot deny that it is theoretically feasible. If it ever happens, it is going to happen within the next 20 years, but much farther out, right? And with additional time, right? Resources, it also is not crazy to think that large numbers in simulated minds could not coexist inside a rich and detailed simulation of physical reality. Still, the notion that this process will offer anyone reading this article a pathway to immortality is utterly absurd. Digital doppelganger, you know what I'm saying? So, as I stated above, the idea that a singular biological human will ever extend their life by uploading their minds is pure fiction. The two key words in this system are their life. While it is theoretically possible with a sufficient technological advances to copy and reproduce the precise form and function of a unique human brain within a simulation. The original human will still exist in there, basically it'll just be a doppelganger who trying to basically be you and do everything and have access to everything that's of yours, that's of you. You know what I'm saying? And now it's gonna be like, we sharing. Now it's this whole nightmares type of thing, right? Where you look around, it's gonna be people with the same memory, with the same, or attempt to have the same memory, the same behavior, gestures, all that. Like, it's just like a clone. It's a digital clone doppelganger. So look, as I stated above, the original human would still exist in their biological body. Their brain would be housed within their skull. What would exist in a computer would be a copy, right? A digital doppelganger, right? In other words, you would not feel like you suddenly transported yourself into a computer. In fact, you would not feel anything at all. The brain copying process could happen without your knowledge while you were asleep or sedated, or you will never have the slightest inkling that a reproduction of your mind existed within a simulation, and if you found yourself crossing a busy street with a car racing towards you, you would jump out of the way because you would not be immortal, right? So, but what about that version of you within a simulation, right? Can you think of it as a digital clone or an identical twin? While you hearing everybody now saying, "Oh, twin," because I mean, no, we in that time where these nations, these rumors of wars gonna happen, and a prophecy. It's a prophecy that state, "He that know," you know what I'm saying? He that know his father, he that know their God, they will carry out strong exploits. We know that, right? But look, and we reading this, and then we watch we hear this audio. It's saying how they gonna go. They gonna take it the furthest. See, this gonna go past that prophecy. This gonna go way. This is humanity altering. So it's like it's way past just that. It's way past that. So that's why it's been, it's way past that. So look, it would be a copy of you, including all your memories up to a memory. A moment your brain was scanned, but from that instant on, it would generate its own memories. It might be, interacting with other simulated minds in a simulated world, learning new things and having new experiences. Or maybe it interacts with a physical world through robotic interfaces. At the same time, the biological you would be generating new memories and having new experience. Now look at this. It's gonna be a lot of parents. If people gonna be looking at this concept, they're gonna be like, damn. They gonna instantly get ideas. Light bulb gonna flick to where it's like, damn, nigga, they gonna be really throwing their kids away, bro. Just look at it, like they got some intelligent kids, or nephews or nieces, nigga, they gonna throw their kids away, bro. Nigga, it's gonna be that Brenda's guy. Nigga, I'm telling you, it's gonna be that Brenda's baby all over again. They gonna be throwing their kids away. For real. If they can, if they live out their life and their life wasn't going right or whatever the case. That's anybody though. It ain't even just parents. It's anybody you run across. They gonna be like, nigga, I'm trying to make a better me by trying to be you. Come on, man. Like all these practices, it's like, bro, not even practices. It's just what they got in store for humanity. This is that. So, man, we're gonna keep reading. It's in a simulated world, okay, or maybe it interacts with the physical world through robotic interfaces. At the same time, the biological, you will be generated new memories and having new experiences, right? In other words, you will only be identical for an instant, and then you. All right, Shalom, we back with it. All right, back with this thing. Back with it. So look, man, what I left off at, cause originally I started off with Morgellons, right? But I gotta get on to this I left off at, right? This was talking about. It's talking about this damn digital doppelganger shit. This computer, this cloud computing, Salaki. So right, we doing this or whatever. But look, this is what it said. This is exactly what it said. It said the copy would feel just like you, fully entitled to own its own property and earn its own wages and make its own decisions. It will claim your name, memories, and even family as its own. Right now, bro, if you don't look around and see what's going on, everybody swear everything is theirs. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's all about, you know how it go, bro. You know how it's going. I ain't gonna say you know how it go because it just kicked off, but you know how it's going. You've been seeing the same thing. You're going through the same thing. So look, you are reading these words, your brain is alive and well stored within the protective confines of your skull, where it will reside for the remainder of your life. I feel the need to point this out because there is a small but vocal population of self-proclaimed transhumanists who believe that within your lifetimes, right, technological advances will enable them to upload their minds into computer sciences, right, thereby allowing them to escape the limitations of their therapeutic, right? So, effectively live forever. Effectively live forever, right? These transhumanists are wrong. To be fair, right? To be fair, not all transhumanists. We back. So look, to be fair, not all transhumanists believe in mind uploading as a pathway to immortality, but there enough chatter about the concept within that community that excitement has spilled out into the general public, so much so that Amazon has a comedic TV series based on a premise called Upload, right? These may be fun stories, but the notion that a single biological human will ever extend their life by uploading their mind into a computer system, pure fiction, right? Right, so science behind transhumanists, the concept of mind upload is rooted in the very reasonable premise that the human brain, like any system that obeys the laws of physics, can be modeled in software if you devote sufficient computing power to the problem. To be clear, we're not talking about modeling human brains in the abstract, but modeling very, very specific brains. Your brain, my brain, and it was just naming brains, and other people's brains. So look, each one represented in such extreme detail that every single neuron is accurately simulated, including all the complex connection among them, right? It is an understatement to say that modeling a unique individual human brain is a non-trivial task. There are over 85 billion neurons in your head, with each with thousands of links to your other neurons. In total, there are about million trillion connections, which is unfathomable and large, 8,000 times more than a number of stars in a Milky Way galaxy. It's those trillions of connections that make you who you are, your personality, your memory, and your fears, and your skills, and your peculiarities. Your mind is encoded in those 100,000 connections, and so to accurately reproduce your mind and software, a system would need to precisely simulate the vast majority of those connections down to the most subtle interaction. Obviously, that level of modeling will not be done by hand. People who believe in mind uploading, envision an automated scanning process, likely using some kind of supercharged MRI machine that captures the biology down to the resolution that approach the molecular level. They then envision the use of intelligent software to turn that scan into a simulation of each unique brain cell and its thousands of connections to other cells. That is an extremely challenging task, but I cannot deny that it is theoretically feasible. Feasible. Right? If it even happens, it is not going to happen in the next 20 years, but much further out, and with additional time, resources. It also is not, crazy to think that large numbers of simulated minds could coexist inside of a rich and detailed simulation of physical reality. Still, the notion that this process will offer anyone reading this article a pathway to immortality is utterly absurd. Digital doppelganger, as I stated above, the idea that a single biological human will ever extend their life by uploading their minds is pure fiction. The two key words in that system are their life. While it is theoretically possible with sufferance, right? With sufferance. Technological advances to copy or reproduce the precise form and fiction of a unique human brain within a simulation. The original human will still exist in a biological form. Body. Their brain still housed within their skull. What would exist in a computer would be a copy, a digital doppelganger. This is what we're dealing with now. It's all about a psyche, like a psychosis warfare. We dealing with all these damn different warfares where everybody wants you to worship them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they find a practice where they can mess with the psychological mind. You know what I'm saying? Body, and then they do all this shit. They do all these things to make you. They want you to worship them. They want to drag you to worship them. That's it. Everybody think they God now. So look. In other words, you will not feel like you suddenly transported yourself into a computer. In fact, you will not feel anything at all. The brain copying process would have happened without your knowledge while you were asleep or sedated, and you would never have the slightest inkling that a reproduction of your mind existed within a simulation. And if you found yourself crossing a busy street with a car racing towards you, you will jump out of the way because you would not be immortal. But what about the version of you within a simulation, right? You could think of it as a digital clone or identical twin, but it would not be you. It would be a copy of you, including all your memories up to the moment your brain was scanned. But from that instant on, it would generate its own memories. It might be interacting with other simulated minds in a simulated world, learning new things, having new experiences, or maybe it interact with the physical world through robotic interfaces. At the same time, the biological you would be generating new memories and have new experiences. Right? In other words, it will only be identical for an instant, and then you and the copy would both diverge in different directions. Your skill would diverge, your knowledge would diverge, your personality would diverge. After a few years, there would be substantial differences. Your copy might become deeply religious while you are agnostic. Your copy might become an environmentalist while you are an oil executive. You and the copy would retain similar personalities, but you will be different people. Right? Clone Wars. Yes, the clone of you will be a person, but a different person. That's a critical point because the copy of you would need to have its own identity. or its own rights that have or to have nothing to do with you at all, that person would feel just as real inside the digital mind as you feel within your biological mind. Certainly, that person should not be your slave, required to take on tasks that you are too busy to do during your biological life. Such exploitation would be immoral. After all, the copy would feel just like you feel, fully entitled to to own its own property, earn its own ways, and make its own decisions. In fact, you and the copy would likely have a dispute as to who gets to use your name, as you would both feel like you had used it your entire life. If I made a copy of myself, it would wake up fully believe it is Lord, he said his name. A lifelong take no logic. Take no logics in the fields of virtual reality and artificial intelligence. If it was able to interact with the real world, though digital and robotic, it would believe it had every right to use the name Louis Berry Rosenberg in the physical world, and it certainly would not feel subservient to the biological vision. Right? In other words, creating a digital copy, mind upload has nothing to do with allowing you to live forever. Instead, it will just create a competitor who has identical skills and capability and memories to the biological version, and who feels equally justified to be the owner of your identity. And yes, the copy will feel equally justified to be married to your spouse and parent to your children. In other words, mind upload is not a path. It's not a path to immortality. It is a path for creating another you, who immediately will feel like they are equally justified owners of everything you possess and everything you have accomplished. They will react exactly the way you would react if you woke up one day and were told, sorry, but all those images of yours on yours. So, somebody gonna be trying to exploit that bad to where they gonna be, everything you thought, they gonna be trying to switch your reality, because it's people they don't even like that. So like they don't like nothing about their life. If you go this far to really just look at what we just read, if you go this far, if you go to where it's this far to even I want to be a copy of someone else or same memory, bro, you sick. Like, you really a individual who need help, because how is it that you can do that and you can do that and go the farthest to do that, but you don't want to look at your own, you don't want to just be and live your life how it was given to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people they really be bitter like that, bro. They be bitter like that for real, bro. They'll see everything. You might be in the same boat. It just, you handle your situation different than they do. You might be in the same boat as the next person, but they gonna be on the you might be on the same boat, bro. But we gonna get on. We gotta get this, the dystopian future. And I have been talking about the dystopians. So look, the dystopian future. And back in 2008, I wrote a graphic novel called Upload that explores the absurdity of mind upload. It takes place in the 2040s in a future world where everyone spends the vast majority of their lives in the metaverse, logging in the moment they wake up and logging out the moment they go to sleep. Coincidentally, the fictional reason why society went in the direction was a global pandemic that drove people inside, right? What the inhabitants of the future world didn't realize that as they live their life, right? As they live their life
via magical powers. Yet such claims directly led to people being arrested, tried, and for some.
Now look, this section is gonna be about, you know, the Nephilim, the giants, and all that's gonna take place concerning all this satanic ritual abuse that's going on. And all the principality and warfare is being used. So, you know what I'm saying? Just tune in.
Decades-long convictions. Let's turn our skeptical eye to the topic of satanic ritual abuse. The 1960s and early 1970s were a time of renewed interest in satanic ritual in popular culture. Films like The Exorcist, Race with the Devil, The Omen, The Devil Rides Out, and Rosemary's Baby suggested that the ancient figure of Satan was not just a spiritual foe urging people to make poor choices, but a dark and evil force practically equal to God and capable of giving power to those who would do his bidding. Stories of cultists being behind animal mutilations and missing children cases were popping up all across the country. The 1970s also saw the rise of apocalyptic millennial literature like Hal Lindsey's The Late Great Planet Earth, and other works which suggested that the world was on the verge of destruction and that before it was over there would be dark and terrible activity conducted by the followers of Satan. Father Malachi Martin thrilled readers with his story of 5 allegedly real exorcisms in Hostage to the Devil. Self-described satanic cult survivor Mike Warnke wrote about his experience as a cult priest in his 1972 tell-all book, The Satan Cellar. The stage was perfectly set for what sociologists call a moral panic. What is a moral panic? It is a cultural event wherein people become hyper-vigilant to a threat to the status quo and tend to throw reason and rationality out in favor of seeking protection from the perceived threat at all costs. Sociologist Stanley Cohen describes it in his book, Folk Devils and Moral Panics. A condition, episode, person, or group of persons emerges to become defined as a threat to societal values and interests. Its nature is presented in a stylized and stereotypical fashion by the mass media. The moral barricades are manned by editors, bishops, politicians, and other right-thinking people. Socially accredited experts pronounce their diagnoses and solutions. Ways of coping are evolved or, more often, resorted to. The condition then disappears, submerges, or deteriorates, and becomes more visible. Sometimes the object of the panic is quite novel, and at other times it is something which has been in existence long enough, but suddenly appears in the limelight. The history of the satanic ritual abuse scare in America is just a tiny part of a greater phenomena, commonly referred to as the Satanic Panic. This was a period of heightened fear of satanic cult activity that took place from the 1970s to the early 1990s. This episode of Skeptoid focuses specifically on the allegations that satanic cults were conducting ritual abuse and murders all across the U.S. during this time. A future episode of Skeptoid will deal with the broader phenomena of the Satanic Panic itself. What is satanic ritual abuse? Sometimes abbreviated as SRA, satanic ritual abuse is the idea that organized cults of Satan were secretly controlling child care facilities and using their positions to molest, murder, and torment children under their care. There were many allegations and many legal cases that took place during this time. We will take a look at the outcome of some of those, but first we will take a look at a couple of key allegedly nonfiction works that were direct precursors to the satanic ritual abuse scare. In 1972, Mike Warnke's book, The Satan Cellar, introduced the world to the mysterious and deadly world of satanic cults. Warnke claimed that he had become involved in a satanic cult in California known as the Satanic Brotherhood, part of a network of groups led by an upper echelon of cult leaders known as the Illuminati. According to historian Scott Poole, Warnke proved enormously appealing to his white, suburban, charismatic, and evangelical audiences. His comedy albums became top sellers in the burgeoning world of Christian contemporary recordings by 1991 with 1 million plus sales. The Satan Cellar topped 3 million in sales over a 10-year period. In the book, Warnke describes a powerful and dark group with more than 1,000 members. He claims that they required blood sacrifices, rapes, and child abuse. The success of his book led him to become a regular lecturer and widely known as an expert in satanic cults. The second major media event related to the start of the satanic ritual abuse panic was the book Michelle Remembers, written by Michelle Smith and her therapist and eventual husband, Lawrence Pazder. It describes the story of the lengthy and shocking sexual and physical abuse that Pazder had uncovered as repressed memories while treating Smith. According to the book, Michelle remembered children being kept in cages, people having fingers removed as a sign of satanic fealty, baby sacrifices, cult efforts to summon Satan, and more. Michelle Remembers also became a widely successful book and primed the general public for what was to come. Pazder became something of a consultant on satanic-themed cases, warning all who would listen about the giant, secret satanic cult he felt was lurking behind much of the evil in the world. The McMartin Daycare Trial. Probably the most famous of the legal cases brought during the satanic ritual abuse scare was the McMartin Daycare Trial. The McMartin family-run daycare business had been a reputable local business in their California community until Judy Johnson started bringing her 2-year-old son Matthew to the facility. After her son experienced several episodes of red and irritated rectum and difficulty with bowel movements, she became convinced that he had been sexually molested at the daycare. She took her child to the authorities, and Matthew was given a medical exam by an inexperienced examiner who concurred with her suspicions. The allegations exploded in the community after a letter was sent to parents whose children used the McMartin facility, urging them to question their children. During the next few months, a bizarre feedback loop of accusations, highly suggestive questioning techniques, rumors, and a complete lack of skepticism led to more and more paranoia within the community. An upcoming election seemed to have been a factor, and they spent years in prison, some without ever being formally. This episode of Skeptoid deals with adult themes. Time. We will take a look at the outcome of some of those, but first we will take a look at a couple of key allegedly Warnke proved enormously appealing to his white, suburban, charismatic, and evangelical audiences. His comedy albums became top sellers in the majority world of Christian contemporary recordings by 1991 with 1 million plus sales. The Satan seller about 3 million sales over a 10-year period. In the book, Warnke describes a powerful and dark group of more than 1,000 members. He claims that they required blood sacrifices, rapes, and child abuse. The success of his book led him to become a regular lecturer and widely known as an expert in satanic cults. The second major media event related to the start of the satanic ritual abuse panic was the book Michelle Remembers, written by Michelle Smith and her therapist and eventual husband, Lawrence Pazder. It describes the story of the lengthy and shocking sexual and physical abuse that Pazder had uncovered as repressed memories while treating Smith. According to the book, Michelle remembered children being kept in cages, people having fingers removed as a sign of satanic fealty, baby sacrifices, cult efforts to summon Satan, and more. Michelle Remembers also became a widely successful book and primed the general public for what was to come. Pazder became something of a consultant on satanic-themed cases, warning all who would listen about the giant, secret satanic cult he felt was lurking behind much of the evil in the world. The McMartin Daycare Trial. Probably the most famous of the legal cases brought during the satanic ritual abuse scare was the McMartin Daycare Trial. The McMartin family-run daycare business had been a reputable local business in their California community until Judy Johnson started bringing her 2-year-old son Matthew to the facility. After her son experienced several episodes of red and irritated rectum and difficulty with bowel movements, she became convinced that he had been sexually molested at the daycare. She took her child to the authorities, and Matthew was given a medical exam by an inexperienced examiner who concurred with her suspicions. The allegations exploded in the community after a letter was sent to parents whose children used the McMartin facility, urging them to question their children. During the next few months, a bizarre feedback loop of accusations, highly suggestive questioning techniques, rumors, and a complete lack of skepticism led to more and more paranoia within the community. An upcoming election seemed to have been a factor in the highly public legal case that was brought against the McMartin teachers. Judy Johnson continued to make increasingly odd accusations. Dr. Lawrence Pazder of the Michelle Remembers case came to the community and supported the idea that this was not just a massive child abuse case, but that the motivations and leadership behind the crimes were that of a secretive, satanic cult. Jones, speaking for her son, would eventually allege that her son had seen the cultists fly, kill babies, take hot air balloon rides, and that there was a secret network of tunnels and trains under the facility to transport the victims to ritual sites. The legal case against the McMartin preschool teachers became the longest, most expensive trial in U.S. history at that point. It ran for 7 years and cost $15 million. The defendants spent years in prison, some without ever being formally charged. Their bails were set at millions of dollars. In the end, there was insufficient evidence to convict the daycare workers. Moreover, the primary evidence against them came from children's testimony derived from highly dubious techniques involving leading questions and anatomically correct dolls. Allegations from Judy Johnson became more and more bizarre, and eventually she had a complete breakdown and was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. The fact that the primary source of the charges turned out to be a highly delusional woman who would soon die of alcoholism could not stop the freight train of the national media that had gone full throttle. Lives were damaged irreparably, friendships were destroyed, and a community imploded as neighbors accused each other of involvement. Millions in tax money were wasted trying to prosecute adults of events that never took place. A group called Believe the Children grew for the McMartin case, and its mission was to ensure that children's stories would be believed even if there was no evidence to corroborate them. The Oak Hill daycare trial. In 1991, in the city of Oak Hill, Texas, near Austin, allegations of satanic ritual abuse struck again at a small daycare. In this case, the charges arose during therapy sessions with a 3-year-old child who was having behavior problems during her parents' divorce. The allegations targeted the Keller family, who ran the daycare, and as the story broke, parents began to investigate and interrogate their own kids. Information from the Believe the Children group was used to help guide the questioning process. Strange stories of the Kellers killing pets and a baby were told. It was claimed that children were flown to Mexico, abused by soldiers, and then flown back to the daycare in time for pickup by their parents. A medical examiner thought he saw evidence of sexual abuse, but a few years later would find that what he saw was actually consistent with normal physiological variation in a child's body. The Kellers were sentenced to 48 years each. There was no evidence of abuse, just testimony obtained through flawed methodology. The Kellers remained in prison until the end of 2013. Thurston County ritual abuse. In 1983, Paul Ingram, a politician and member of the Sheriff's Department, was accused by his daughter of satanic ritual abuse. Ingram was a Pentecostal and may have believed in the idea that he could have been controlled by Satan, but he and other members of his department were accused of highly unlikely activity. The accusations came from Erica, Ingram's daughter, when she attended a church retreat. Paul didn't remember committing any abuse, but he also believed in the honesty of his children. Investigators urged Ingram to visualize and try and remember abusing his children, and eventually he did, constructing memories of the alleged events. During the interrogation, he would say things like, "I see this," or "I feel like I'm watching a movie." But these new memories were becoming his indictment. His daughter claimed to have been raped in more than 800 satanic ceremonies. He was accused of being involved with a cult that killed at least 25 babies. As the investigation continued, Paul Ingram was kept in a jail cell whose lights were never turned off for months and was pressured to write down more of his memories. No physical evidence emerged despite the extensive physical abuse alleged by his daughter, and ultimately, Paul Ingram was sentenced to 20 years in prison for events that never happened. He served the full 20 years and was released in 2003. Some problems with satanic ritual abuse cases. As discussed in Skeptoid episode 446, memory is not the reliable recording device people tend to believe it is. Memory is malleable and can be altered by playing back and thinking about information we've observed, or which we hear and see others recount. Children and adults are susceptible to such alterations. The children in these cases were being told they were repressing their memories and were encouraged to remember their repressed memories. They were praised by authority figures when they had a recollection, and they were given disapproval when they said nothing had happened. They were given leading questions, and they were allowed to mingle with other children who had had the same experiences of interrogation and pressure to tell stories. The work of memory researchers such as Elizabeth Loftus has demonstrated that not only are false memories common, but that around 90% of the population can be led to believe a false memory about themselves if someone else claims to have witnessed it. In both the McMartin case and the Oak Hill case, part of the problem was that baseless allegations were reinforced when inexperienced medical examiners misinterpreted the data that they saw. In both cases, as the examiners got more field experience, they realized that what they had seen were typical children and not the results of sexual abuse. For young preschoolers, the type of abuse that the defendants were accused of would have severely injured or killed the victims. There would have been no ambiguity about the injuries. Unfortunately, for the people who had been in prison, the legal system is not quick to admit a wrongful conviction. As the allegations of bizarre abuse played out in these communities, there was no voice of reason to counterbalance the claims. The good intentions of groups like Believe the Children led to a complete credulity on the part of the parents who only wished to protect their kids and their community. Without critical thinking skills in play, rumors and innuendo and the imaginations of children became the new reality for people with the power to imprison the alleged perpetrators. While sociologists might call this feedback loop a moral panic, we can now see that it was literally and figuratively a witch hunt. And in a witch hunt, one is concerned with finding witches and not in questioning whether such things exist. It is likely that some people were erring on the side of caution, assuming that parts of the children's narrative that were implausible could be ignored, but that there must have been some real abuse at play. Clearly, other parents believed, and some still believe, that a giant satanic cult is at work, even today. The media's role in satanic ritual abuse cases. During the time of the Satanic Panic, there was an increased amount of news coverage related to the topic of satanic cults. Geraldo Rivera produced multiple TV specials, bringing on experts like Ozzy Osbourne and Lawrence Pastor. His 1988 special on satanic cults was the highest-rated 2-hour TV documentary when it aired. He would have many more such shows, but would eventually distance himself from groups like Believe the Children and admit that he was wrong about the scope and power of any secret satanic cult. That was quite a change from when he originally claimed that there were more than 1 million Satanists operating in secret across the country. Rivera was not alone. Satan was a staple talk show topic throughout the period, and very little critical response to such coverage was promoted because many people found it entertaining even if they didn't believe what was being said. Aftermath. The satanic ritual abuse scare was a nightmare for the alleged victims and the alleged perpetrators. Communities wasted tax money trying to fight imaginary witches. Children were distressed and traumatized by repeated interrogation, and countless hours of police and community work time was spent in vain trying to find animal carcasses, dead babies, and secret tunnels that never existed. Innocent people spent years to decades in prison. Families were torn apart. Retirement accounts were destroyed in civil lawsuits brought by alleged victims who imagined they'd been violated in satanic rituals, memories uncovered in highly questionable therapy sessions. But what about the original cases, the fantastic cult stories from Michelle Remembers and the Satan Cellar? Lawrence Pastor, husband of Michelle Smith, became an occult consultant. He got involved in many high-publicity cases of satanic ritual abuse and was a frequent guest on TV. In 1990, the British conservative newspaper, The Mail on Sunday, published an article that debunked much of the book's allegations and questioned many more. More researchers began to dig in and interview friends and relatives, revealing that, as you might expect by now, the book seemed to be the result of Pastor helping to implant memories into Michelle's personal narrative to the extent that she remembered and believed a fantastic story which simply cannot be true. The fantastic narrative of Mike Warnke also began to fall apart when it was finally subjected to investigative scrutiny. There was no evidence of a satanic cult. Much of the timeline he revealed was called into question, and it appered that he had lied and made up much of the story. He had billed to telling Christian stand-up comedy. In 1992, Warnke was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year when Cornerstone magazine published its investigation into his claims. Accusations of fraud devastated Warnke's career as a comedian and occult lecturer, but he maintains that despite the inconsistencies between his book and reality, the events took place as he described them. It is possible that much of the pain, anguish, despair, and expense that came from the satanic ritual abuse cases could have been avoided if, throughout the chain of events, someone could have exercised a little skepticism. Every Skeptoid episode has complete bibliographic references on its transcript page at skeptoid.com, plus further reading suggestions if you want to know more. You're listening to Skeptoid, a listener-supported program. I'm Blake Smith for Skeptoid.com. Reach me at Dr. Atlantis on Twitter or at monstertalk.org.
do if you knew a heart attack was coming?
It's lucky. That is, now that is, and that right there is an ad, Salaki. But now I want to get this right quick, because I've been seeing all my Akions, you know, they bringing this out, so I gotta get it. I gotta see what it's about, you know. I gotta get it, man. I gotta get that thing, man. So look, let me see. Destruction of the camp. Let me see. I'm gonna get that for y'all, man, because I gotta see what this about.
At the time, Brother Joel was the only one.
Oh my God, Salaki, that mud just switched. What's the college, man?
Shalom. Alright, shalom. Ashar, Yawam, Yahawada, Makbabaf. Happy day of Judas Maccabees. I know it's late. I know. Give a chance for maybe 1 or 2 people to come up in here to get this 777 if y'all understand that. But read the story on your own. Read all of the Maccabees. Read 1st and 2nd Maccabees on your own so you can get the history of what was going on. But tonight we're going to get right to some key points so you can understand what you're celebrating tonight and you can know for the future. In the past, we have done services. Shalom, Brother Nathaniel in the house. Shalom, Harlem World, New York. All right. So we're gonna get some key points so you know what you're celebrating, and you can read on your own. In the past, I've gone over this every year. We go over this story. Some of the videos might still be up. We do apologize. A lot of our archive videos, we lost them when HOI Awaken Israel got taken down on YouTube. We still got a lot of them backed up, but we gotta just re-upload them. But a lot of the lessons, everything, a lot of you, what HOI teach on this, what HOI teach on that, we have all the lessons on that channel. You might have had to go back, you might have not seen a certain topic, you might have had to go back a while, but you could have damn near typed in anything and we had something on it on that channel. But you know, the demons got together and flagged and destroyed our page. So we got a lot of that backed up, but we just gonna have to do a lot of them lessons all over again. All right, if it be the Most High will, and then put them on websites where they can't take them out. But we had these lessons year after year. If you went to Awaken Israel, we might have had 5 or 6 Day of Judas videos. We might have had 5 or 6 or 7 Purim, because every year back to back, we was doing the feast days and posting them up. All right, so you can learn if you watch a video. If you watch 6 different lessons from 6 different years on a feast day, you're supposed to know that damn feast day like the back of your hand. Because every year we're gonna bring out different information, and every year we're gonna go over the gist of what the story's about. All right, so any of y'all that was watching, and you can probably type it in and still find it. There's a lot of people that post our videos randomly, but we'll get back up to speed with that if it be the Most High will. All right, but you know, these demons is taking out our content, so we have to back it up on formats where they can't take it out. All right, but nevertheless, we still going to do the stories and the breakdowns each year, so you'll still understand. All right, so we're going to start with 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 26. So what's going on here to bring you up to speed? Judas has taken over the Maccabean revolt. All right, his father Matthias has died, and he passed the torch down to Judas to fight against the Greek Inquisition that was coming against Israel, invading the land and doing away with the daily sacrifices. So now Judas is next up after his father dies to fight for Israel and defend them against the Greeks. So now Judas has taken out the Greeks and removed them out of the temple and took back the temple. You go back to 1 Maccabees, the 4th chapter. All right, verses 52 to around 61. That gives you the Hanukkah. So now by this time, when you go to 1 Maccabees chapters 5 and 6, now it's going through the different war campaigns that Judas had, and he's whipping the hell out of the Greeks. So now they send a general of the Greek army that has deadly hatred against Israel. So they talking about Judas like this dude is no joke. He's repelling all of our armies, all of our attacks. We got to send one of our strongest generals with a strong army to take this dude out. Like we always like to mention, gotta mention it, like the movie 300. Remember Leonidas in the 300, they kept whooping the Persians behind. So Xerxes said, let me go step to this dude. That's how they put it in the movie. Whether that happened in real life or not, you can read the history. But Xerxes said, let me go step to this dude, Leonidas. This dude done put to flight like 3-4 of my companies that I sent against him. Let me see what this dude. So a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel with commandment to destroy the people. See that? So he said, listen, go up and I want you to destroy that Judas and destroy all his company. Destroy the people. Because you got deadly hatred. You know why when you hate somebody, you ever hear about that curse that's on us? Hell, Deuteronomy 28, 54 on down. His eyes shall be evil towards his brother. You ever hear about the violent killings that we just do amongst each other? Not even the killings that Esau has done to us over the years. But that too, look at what happened to Emmett Till. All right, Emmett Till. That's that hatred that Esau has towards Israel. Same thing with Nicanor. So if you send somebody like that, that's a rough enemy you got to fight. If somebody got some death, they going to come at you with all their hatred and fury, and they going to try to do you in. So he said, listen, this is who I got to send against this Judas Maccabees, because he's a deadly warrior. All right, so reading on, it says, so Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, see that? There goes Esau. Deceitfully with deadly words. All right, if it's all about peace, why you coming with this great force? Why you ain't come with a small contingency of men? All right, you might think, okay, I need to bring an army with me just in case. But no, you brought that army with you to get Judas comfortable and then try to take him out. All right, it says, but deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence. So basically what happened is he had the larger portion of his army in the cut, but he actually came to Judas with a smaller portion of men to butter him up and get him comfortable. All right. It says, which thing after it was known to Judas, to wit, that he came unto him with deceit, he was sore afraid of him and would see his face no more. So Judas was like, wait a minute, he got a hold to what this dude is really up to. I'm not going to be around this cat. So he can try to set me up, so he can line me up. All right. It says, Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas beside Kfar Salama. All right, Kfar Salama, I believe, was Manasseh's land. That was part of the tribe of Manasseh's land. When you check out Kfar Salama, that was a part of the portion of Manasseh's land. All right. It says, where there was slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. All right, see that? It said, listen, They slew them, and the rest fled into the city of David, which is Bethlehem. All right, so they fled. They was fighting in Manasseh's land, and then Kafar Salama, and then they got defeated, and they fled to Bethlehem. All right, so 33. After this went Nicanor up to Mount Zion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably and to show him the burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king. See that? Israel, we were people of peace. So they was trying to show Nicanor, look, we offering sacrifices. We even burnt the offering for the king. Right? Because what? We burnt the offering, not so much that they were, you might say, well, why would Israel, burn offerings for this devil Edomite king? No. They burnt offerings and sacrifices that there might be peace in the kingdom. See, Israel understood. We want to just serve the Most High, so we want peace in the land. If there's going to be war and destruction, that's because the Most High is bringing it to defeat our enemies. But if He's going to have us dwell in this land, that's like now. Don't you get up and pray every day that you have a good day? Most High protect you and guide you, nothing happen. The place that you work at, the damn building don't get blown up by terrorists. So what? You're in a way, you're praying for the peace of the land so that you may have peace. It's not so much that you praying for your enemies, is that if the Most High is going to bring this day through peacefully, let it be a peaceful day for, the society. If He's going to bring destruction, He's going to bring destruction. All right, so reading on, it says, but he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spoke proudly. See that? He said he mocked them, laughed them, abused them shamefully, and spoke proudly. All right, that's Esau for you. All right, verse 35. And swore in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his host be now delivered into my hands, if I ever come again, all right, in safety, Shalakia, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out in a rage. Now, keep that in mind. Keep 1 Maccabees 7 and 35 in mind. Look at this, like Jake say in the street. Look at this big ish that Nicanor is talking. He's talking big ish. All right, he's talking that hot ish. All right, verse 36. Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, Thou, O Yahweh, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. So they said, listen, this Edomite, this devil just said, if Judas don't come and surrender to me, I'm going to come and burn down the temple. This is how proud this devil is. Nicanor. All right. It says, be avenged of this man and his host, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies and suffer them not to continue any longer. So, 1 Maccabees 7:38, y'all can write this down. 1 Maccabees 7:38 goes with Luke 18 and 7. We don't have to get it, but Luke 18 and 7. 1 Maccabees 7:38 with Luke 18 and 7. Because what? Right here, I'm going to start at 37 again. It says, Thou, O Yahweh, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Be avenged of this man and his host. All right, so to avenge someone means what? To take vengeance for them. So the Lord said in the book of Luke 18 and 7, the Lord said, Shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry unto him day or night? Nevertheless, he will avenge them speedily. So it's the same thing right here. So basically, 1 Maccabees 7, 37 and 38 to link with Luke 18 and 7. The Most High is our avenger. All right? Verse 39. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Betharon, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judas pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, all right. The brother just put the link in the comments. He said, but Judas, Shalakia, 41, O Yahweh, When they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed, thine angel went out and smote 180,500 of them. 180,500 is 185,000. Y'all can read that story in 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. All right, 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. What happened is the Assyrians tried to come in and take the kingdom beforehand. They tried to destroy, take down Israel beforehand, and the Most High sent out the death angel and killed 185,000 of the Assyrian army that tried to come up on Jerusalem. All right, so that's how deadly of a power that we serve. So now they praying, they saying, listen, do this wicked Nicanor the same way you did the wicked Assyrians. All right, 185,000. A score is 20, so 4 score would be 80. So 185,000. So y'all write down 1 Maccabees 7:41 with 2 Kings the 19th chapter. You know, it starts around the latter verse, but just read the whole 19th chapter for homework's sake. All right, so reading on, 1 Maccabees 7:42. Even so, destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously, Salakia, against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy against the Most High. All right, like the scriptures say, that devil. Blasphemy is basically speaking any evil or condemnation against the Most High or his word, or cursing the Most High, or just being totally disrespectful. That's blasphemy. All right, I mean, of course it goes deeper than that, but on the surface, that's blasphemy. He said that he's going to burn down the house of the Lord. That's blasphemy. That's where the Spirit of the Most High dwelt at. With the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat, where we communed with the Most High.
Man, I was just looking at that.
And they something happened in Ethiopia. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Try not to let me forget that, y'all. Since I mentioned the Ark of the Covenant, I want to speak on something that there was an article that came up I seen on Ethiopia today. But anyway, it says, verse 42. Even so, destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness. It says, judge Nicanor according to his wickedness. All right. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle. See that? The Most High says, since you got a big mouth, you're going to be slain first in the host of the battle. All right. First Maccabees 7, 34 and 35. Salakia. Matter of fact, okay, First Maccabees 7, 34, 35, and 43. All right. First Maccabees 7, 34, 35, and 43 to link with Isaiah 57 and 4. All right. Isaiah 57 and 4. Let me read that real quick. All right. Isaiah 57 and 4. Shalakia. It says, Isaiah 57 and 4. Against whom do ye sport yourselves? Against whom make ye a wide mouth, and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, a seed of evildoers? See that? So the Most High said, listen, and the Most High was checking Israel then. And how much more a heathen that opened his big mouth. So guess what? Because in verse 34 and 35 it said, Nicanor mocked the priests after they said they burnt offerings to the king. He mocked them and he said, listen, if you don't bring Judas to surrender, I'm going to burn this temple to the ground. All right, so he opened his wide mouth against the Most High. And Isaiah 57:4 said, against whom do you sport yourselves? Against whom make you a wide mouth? Right? Didn't Houdini tell you, you got a big mouth? Big mouth. All right. Shout out to Brother Ecstasy. Rest in peace, Brother Ecstasy. All right. No folly though. But, you know, right? You got a big mouth. You opened your mouth against the Most High. And guess what? You got slain. 1 Maccabees 7:43. You was the first one to get killed. Since you opened your mouth against the Most High, talking about you gonna burn his temple to the ground. And the Most High said, you know what? Celebrate this day, the 13th month of Adar. Adar meaning 12th month. That's the name for the 12th month. All right, that we gave in Babylon. We gave names to the months after Babylon so we can keep up with the time frame. All right. He said, who you opening your fat mouth against? And the Most High put him to death. All right? So put that in your pipe and smoke it. This Bible don't lie. It links up. 1 Maccabees 7:34, 35, and 43. You go to 34 and 35 to see how Nicanor was mocking and running his damn mouth. Then you go to 43 to show you how the Most High killed him. And he was the first one to die in the battle. Then you go to Isaiah 57:4, because the Most High is asking a rhetorical question. Who you running your mouth to, boy? Don't you know I kill you? You open your fat mouth against me, talking about you gonna burn my temple to the ground. Then I'm gonna make this a day of celebration for my people to eat, drink, and rejoice and feast in celebration of your death, you evil, wicked Edomite demon that had deadly hatred against Israel. Alright, what's that scripture the brother put? Proverbs 21:23. Proverbs 21:23. What does that read? Proverbs 21:23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. Yeah. Alright, keep your mouth and your tongue. You keep your soul from troubles. All right, and obviously Nicanor didn't keep his mouth and his tongue. All right, and what? He got destruction. And the other one I like, Proverbs 13:3. I like this one. Yeah, Proverbs 13:3. Oh yeah, the brother posted it too. Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. But he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. There you go. Can't get around that. The Bible is clear. And that links with Isaiah 57:4 too. All right, because what? It speaks about the wide mouth and the opening of the lips and the tongue. All right, so you can't get around that. Isaiah 57:4 again, against whom do ye sport yourselves? Against whom make ye a wide mouth and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, exceed of falsehood? And Nicanor was definitely a child of transgression and falsehood. All right, he was the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, so reading on, it says 44, 1 Maccabees 7:44. Now when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled. And they pursued after them a day's journey from Edessa unto Gazara, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. See that? Because what? When we went to war, we had different sounds of the trumpets. All right. You can write down Numbers 10, verses 1 through 9. Numbers 10, verses 1 through 9 with 1 Maccabees 7:45. All right. These precepts link up. 1 Maccabees 7:45 with Numbers 10, verse 1 through 9. Verse 46. Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about, and closed them in, so that they, turning back upon them that pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them was left. So you see that? The Most High took out Nicanor first, and then his whole army was slain. All right, by the mighty hand of Judas, the mighty warrior. All right, it says, afterwards they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head. So this is going to get deep. it said he smote off Nicanor's head, and his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away and hanged them up toward Jerusalem. So he said, not only this, you was running your mouth, you gonna die, you gonna get killed, your whole army gonna get killed, then I'm gonna chop your damn head off, I'm gonna chop off that right hand that you pointed to the temple and said you're gonna burn it down to the ground, and now Judas is gonna hang it up and make a mockery of you since you mocked the Most High. Don't play with the Lord, man. Don't play with the Lord. He'll get you and he'll do you dirty. Wait till we read about Purim tomorrow. This is a season. This is a 3-day feast day holy season of nothing but our Edomite enemies getting they behind handed to them by the Most High, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. And he told us to celebrate each and every one of these days. These 3 holy days back to back. Alright, it says, for this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. But what kind of God you serve? He's celebrating death? You damn right. He's celebrating the death of a wicked enemy that spoke up against him and his people in his temple. How you gonna fix your mouth to say you're gonna burn the house of God to the ground? Are you serious? The house of the Lord, the mercy seat, the Ark of the Covenant, the priests, the sacrifices, the incense burning, the place of worship, the place of sacrifice for Israel to be forgiven their sins, and you talking about you gonna burn it to the ground? And you already bear deadly hatred to Israel, the Lord's chosen people. What you think the Lord gonna do to you? All right, verse 49. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus the land of Judah was in rest a little while. See that? So they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th day of Adar. So today would be the 13th day of the 12th month. The 12th month started for us February 10th, sundown at even. So 12 days at even, which today, February 22nd, but when the sun goes down, it's technically like going into the next day, February 23rd, but you got to start at the ending of that 22nd day to go into the 13th day. The 23rd going into the 13th day, and we all know 10 plus 13 equals 23. So we in the 13th day of the month Adar. Tomorrow's sundown is the 14th day, and then Wednesday's sundown is the 15th day. Those are the 2 days of Purim, like we're going to read about in Esther. We'll read about that story tomorrow. So these were 3 days at different time periods of history that the Most High whooped the hell out of Edomite enemies and had us have a feast day and a celebration day out of it. So it's in the scriptures. We're supposed to acknowledge it. You know, a lot of Israel may not put their spirit into this as much as, you know, Passover or Tabernacles or Feast of Dedication or whatever, but it is our feast day, or New Moon, but it is our feast day. Some of you, because of captivity, jobs, work, or whatever, it's hard to celebrate 3 feast days in a row, but make it your business. It's a great time of the year for us also. All right, a great season. Purim and the destruction of Nicanor, 13th, 14th, and 15th day of the 12th month. When you do the calculations on the Hebrew calendar, that's what they get. And we gave y'all the calendar about a month ago. Y'all should have knew this date was coming up. See, a lot of y'all are just focused on Purim, which is fine. But sometimes y'all will, you know, if you don't get together all 3 nights, you'll put everything into one night and mention all you know, both of the stories, which is cool too, because it is the season. All 3 days kind of coincide with each other. All right, but this is what we're celebrating tonight, the destruction of Nicanor. So now let's go to, we're going to go to 2nd Maccabees, the 15th chapter. And we're going to breeze through that real quick. 2nd Maccabees, the 15th chapter. All right? When everybody have it, put up a con 777 on the comment board. All right? 2nd Maccabees, the 15th chapter. It says, but Nicanor, hearing that Judas and his company were in the strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day. So now, the book of 2nd Maccabees goes deeper into all the war campaigns of Judas Maccabees. But the book of 2nd Maccabees, the 15th chapter, links up. It's the telling of the story, the same story of 1st Maccabees, the 7th chapter, is the same thing. All right, 2nd Maccabees is kind of more so about exalting Judas and his war campaigns. So it ends off with him defeating Nicanor. That's how 2nd Maccabees ends off. And you know, the feast day being established. Verse 2, 2nd Maccabees 15 and 2. Nevertheless, the Jews that were compelled to go with them said, "Oh, destroy not so cruelly and barbarously, but give honor to that day, which he that seeth all things have honored with holiness above other days." Even the Jews that had sold out and was fighting with the Greeks, with Nicanor, they said, don't fight against him on a Sabbath day, not that day. Verse 3, then the most ungracious wretch, look what the Most High called them, ungracious wretch. All right, now look up those two words and see what they define him as. An ungracious wretch. All right, that's what the Lord called Nicanor. It says, demanded if there were a mighty one in heaven that had commanded the Sabbath day to be kept. So this devil is so proud. This is some of the bit more intricate details that First Maccabees 7 didn't have. All right, and that's not to say the scriptures contradict itself. How come they telling a different story? No. If the New York Times, New York Post, Daily News, and the Wall Street Journal, if they all four wrote a story about an event that happened, are they all going to say the exact same thing? No. Some going to put certain details in, but they all going to tell the story. And everything they say may be true, but they may just put other details of the story in there. Because scoffers have tried to use that over the years. Oh, the Bible contradicts itself. No, it's just telling different accounts of similar stories. All right. Verse 17. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty. So Judas was like, I ain't even worried about it, man. The Most High got our back. He gonna fight our battles. He gonna be with us. All right, verse 9. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore, he made them more cheerful. He said, listen, the Most High got us, man. Go back to the law and the prophets and see how he always defended Israel no matter what. So he was giving them encouragement. He was giving them like a pep talk. Verse 10. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charges, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears as with comfortable and good words. And beside that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. And this was his vision, that Onias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man, reverent in conversation, gentle in condition, and spoken, well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. This was Onias the third. All right, Onias the third, which was he was having issues with Alchemus and Jason. All right, when you read the beginning of 2nd Maccabees, it tells you that there was confusion amongst Israel because Onias the third, he was a righteous priest of Israel that wanted to do right by the Most High. But you had Alchemus and you had Jason, which they wanted to rule over the priesthood, but they wanted to have unity with the Greeks. They wanted to help to oppress their own people. If you can't beat them, join them. A gift destroys the heart. Like these sellout Negroes now. Esau, the white man, get them a position and let them rule, and they just go along with Esau to destroy their own people. Same thing was happening then. Internal warfare amongst Israel and internal warfare amongst the Greeks, the Romans, and the Edomite rulers. All right. So, verse 13. This done in like manner, there appeared a man with gray hairs, and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, This is a lover of the brethren, who prayed much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah, the prophet of Yahweh. So, what happened is,
what I do with that comment?
Onias had a dream about Jeremiah, and he told the dream to Judas and Israel and the Maccabees and the people. All right, he's describing a dream that he had about Jeremiah. All right, it says, this is a lover of the brethren who prayed much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah, the prophet of Yahweh. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, Take this holy sword, a gift from Yahweh, with which thou shalt wound the adversary. So that golden sword, you can go to 1 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter. 1 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter will tell you that Judas had a battle against a general named Apollonius. And what happened is Judas killed Apollonius and took his golden sword. So the dream that Onias had about Jeremiah handing Judas a golden sword. Okay, Salakia, y'all. Had a little technical difficulty. Salakia, y'all, I'm back. All right. So that was the fulfillment of the dream. All right, that Jeremiah had. So that Onias had. All right. So it says verse 16, 2 Maccabees 15:17. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good and able to stir them up to valor and to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger. So once Judas told him about that dream that Onias had, and that Jeremiah gave him, that handed him that golden sword in the dream, and it was fulfilled through him defeating Apollonius in 1 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, he stirred the people up, and they said, look, we're going to fight. All right, verse 18. For the care that they took for their wives and their children and their brethren and kinsfolk was in least account with them. But the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple. See that? So, remember, the Most High said, look, you know, who is my mother, my brother, or my sister, those that do the will of the Father? So look, it's not that they didn't care for their wives, their children, and their brethren, but they said, look, we got to do this work of the Lord. We got to fight this fight. We have no wives, children, and brethren if we don't defend our nation, because they're going to come and slaughter us and take our women and children in captivity. All right, so that goes with what Yahweh Shah said, man. Who is my mother, my brother, my sister, those that do the will of the Father? All right, but I'm reading on, verse 19. And they that were in the city took not the least care of being troubled for the conflict abroad. They said, listen, man, we got to defend our nation. All right, y'all got to stay back. We got to fight. Because if we don't fight and defeat them, there's no y'all. All right, so basically, they had to have that strong encouragement through that dream that Onias had about Jeremiah to get, you know, Judas had to use that to encourage them to fight. All right, and speaking of Jeremiah, yeah, I want to mention that earlier. They came out with a report today. This happened a while ago. They said it happened in November of 2020, but they said they got the final death toll today at that church in Axum, Ethiopia, where they claim they have the Ark of the Covenant. They got a wooden box. All right, a little wooden box talking about the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, my God.
All right, but they had a massacre back in November, was 800 people. They got the final death toll today. They said 800 people was killed in that massacre. And they were all going to this church. This church in, I think it's Axum, Ethiopia, where they claim the Ark of the Covenant is at, and the Lord had 800 of them damn Hamites slain. All right, let's go to 2 Maccabees, the 2nd chapter. See?
That's crazy.
You lie and you blaspheme and you talk about the Ark of the Lord's covenant is here in Ethiopia. And what happened? The Lord allowed civil war, and 800 of you Ethiopians get slain. You goddamn Babylonians, you Cushites, you Hamites, you non-Israelites, claiming to have the Lord's Ark of the Covenant. Well, if you got the Ark of the Covenant, how come 800 of you being slain? You know what that reminds me of? The Philistines. Remember the Philistines? They tried to get the Ark, and the Lord cursed the hell out of them. When you read 1 Samuel, I think it's the 4th chapter. All right, remember the Ethiopians tried to take the Ark? I mean, the Philistines tried to take the Ark. See that? When the Hamites try to take the Ark in 1 Samuel.
Man.
And then these Hamites claim to have the Ark in Ethiopia, and the Lord killed 800 of them.
Man.
Go back to 1 Samuel, see what happened to the damn Canaanites. I mean, the Philistines when they tried to take the Ark. All right, so the Most High don't play that. Now these damn Hamites in Ethiopia, and Axum, Ethiopia, with that damn church, talking about the Ark of the Covenant is there in a damn wooden box.
Man.
And what happened? The Lord had 800 of them slain in civil war. And when you read the article, I think it was on the Independent, it said that's not the final death toll. That's just what they was able to estimate from the bodies in the ruins. They said it was more people slain throughout the villages. So, what happened? When you took the Ark of the Covenant as the Philistines, you got jacked up. Now you claim to have the Ark of the Covenant as the damn Ethiopians, and you got climbed up and saw the heritage of the Most High, Mount Sinai. Shalom Gadget, HR Buffalo in the building. Mount Sinai, not no Ethiopia, not no Axum, Ethiopia. He said, look, verse 5 again, and when Jeremiah came thither, he found an hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it, which when Jeremiah perceived, he blamed them, saying, as for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that Yahweh gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. We not getting the Ark of the Covenant back until we get the kingdom. So you Hamites in Ethiopia, you don't have the Ark of the damn Covenant. That's why 800 of you died in civil war. Because the Most High ain't dealing with y'all. I just want to mention that because that article, somebody sent me that article today about Ethiopia. They tallied up the death toll. They said there's about 800 people died in those civil wars back in November 2020. At the place, these are supposed to be Christians at this Ethiopian church in Axum, Ethiopia, where they claim to have the Ark of the Covenant. Every time you Hamites get the Ark of the Covenant as the Philistines, lie and say you got the Ark of the Covenant, what happened? The Most High jacked you up. Alright, when we went into Babylon, Ethiopian Cushites, we went into Babylon, what happened? Jeremiah said, don't worship their ornaments of silver and gold. They got all kinds of different gods, don't worship them. But 2 Maccabees 2:1-7 tells you the Ark of the Covenant is hidden in Mount Sinai until the Most High deliver Israel out of captivity. So you're lying like hell saying you got the Ark of the Covenant in some wooden box in Ethiopia. That's a lie. All right, back to 2 Maccabees 15:20. And now, when as all look, what should be the trial, and the enemies will already come near, and the army was set in array, and the beasts conveniently placed, and the horsemen set in wings, Maccabees seeing the coming of the multitude, and the divers preparations of armor, and the fierceness of the beasts, stretched out his hands toward heaven, and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth it to such as are worthy. So basically what? He said, listen, the victory is not always with the power of the army and the host, it's with whoever the hell the Most High going to allow to win. That's basically what it's saying. All right, so Once again, it says, therefore, in his prayer, he said after this manner, O Yahweh, thou didst send thine angel in the time of Ezekiel's king Hezekiah. Ezekiel's king of Judea, said Ezekiel's here, but it's Hezekiah, king of Judea, and didst slay in the host of Sennacherib in the 185,000, meaning 185,000 of the Assyrian army under Sennacherib that tried to invade Jerusalem when it wasn't their time. They got slaughtered by the angel of the Lord. So Judas said, Lord, if you can do that, you can take out this fierce army that's before us now. All right, that's in 2 Kings, the 19th chapter again. Y'all can read that story in 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. Because it wasn't time for the Assyrians to invade the southern kingdom. It was for the southern kingdom was to fall under Babylon. All right, the southern kingdom was to fall under Babylon. Then the northern kingdom fell under the Assyrians, but the southern kingdom was going to fall under Babylon, under the Babylonians. All right, that's what I meant. Salakia. All right, it says 23. Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them. Meaning a good angel for Israel. There was going to be a bad angel for Nicanor and his army, but it was going to be a good war angel, all right, for Israel. All right, it says, and through the might of thine arm, let those be stricken with terror that come against thy holy people to blaspheme, and he in the dust. Because when you read in 2 Maccabees 15, 1-6, Nicanor was talking crap about the Sabbath and whether the Most High set up a Sabbath or not. Who the hell are you, devil? All right, it says, and through the midst of thine, I read that, verse 25. 2 Maccabees 15:25. Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemies with invocation and prayer, meaning they was pleading to the Most High and they was making prayer. All right, 27. So that fighting with their hands and praying unto Yahweh with their hearts, they slew no less than 30 and 5,000 men. For through the appearance of Yahweh they were greatly cheered. So through the power of the Most High they killed 35,000 of the enemies. All right, because Judas had just prayed, Lord, you killed 185,000 with one angel of the Assyrians. Use us to kill multitudes of this wicked army also. So if the Most High is with you, he going to be with you. If he not, he not. Verse 18. Now when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language. Kwam Yashala, hallelujah. Ancient Paleo-Hebrew. All right, 30. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder and bring them to Jerusalem. Because remember, Nicanor, he stretched out his hands toward the temple and said he gonna burn it down. That's why Judas cut off his hand, because he talked crap and he pointed at the temple with his right hand and said he gonna burn it down. So he chopped off his hand and his head. I'm gonna read it again, verse 30. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen. That's a racist statement right there. It said Judas continued his love toward his own countrymen. I only love my people. Ain't nothing wrong with that, and I'm still a man of the Lord. All his life commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder and bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there and had called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower. Once again, it says them of his nation. All right, that's a great racist statement right there. Most High is only for his people. His servants are only for their own people. Verse 31, and showed them vile Nicanor's head and the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags he has stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. He said, listen, I cut off that same hand that he pointed at the temple and said he's going to burn it down to the ground. So I'm going to chop that same arm off. All right, and I'm going to chop his vile head off. All right, it says, and when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, remember we read earlier, against whom do you sport yourself? Open a wide mouth, draw out the tongue. All right, it said he cut out the tongue of Nicanor. And when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls and hang up the reward of his madness before the temple. He said, take his tongue in pieces and feed it to the fowls. All right, 34. So every man prays toward the heaven, the glorious Lord, saying, blessed be he that have kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all the help of Yahweh. So it went from Nicanor saying, look, pointing at the temple, I'm going to burn this temple down, I'm going to destroy it. All right, I'm going to burn it to the ground, to what? His arm being chopped off, his head being chopped off, and hung up towards, on the tower, towards the temple that he claimed he was going to burn down, and pointed to with his hand. The Most High mocked him and told us to make it a day of eating, drinking, celebrating, and feasting to the Most High. All right, it says, and they ordained all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in Assyrian tongue is called the Dar, the day before Mordecai's day. So what is Mordecai's day? That's tomorrow, that's Purim. Mordecai's day is another day for Purim. Even though Purim is based upon the story of Esther, but Mordecai is a key factor. Mordecai the Benjamite, which we're going to read about that tomorrow and Wednesday. He's a key factor in the story of Purim. That's why Purim was also known as Mordecai's day. That's why we call this day is the destruction of Nicanor, but we also call it the day of Judas Maccabees. All right, so Mordecai's day, 1 Maccabees 15 and 36, Mordecai's day is another day for Purim. That's why I said the day before, because tonight is Feast of Judas Maccabees, tomorrow is the first day of Purim, and then Wednesday is the second day of Purim. But Purim is also known as Mordecai's day. So, day of Judas Maccabees and destruction of Nicanor, it was the day before Mordecai's day. If everybody understand, give me a con 777. If y'all still awake. Verse 37, thus went it with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power, and here will I make an end. And if I have done well, and as is fitting the story, it is that which I desire. But if slenderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. In other words, Jason, this author Jason that wrote 1st and 2nd Maccabees, he said, listen, I told the story according to the information that I had, and I did the best I can to give you the exact, accurate facts of the story. All right, verse 39. For as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant and delighteth the taste, even so speech finely framed delighteth the ears of them that read the story, and here shall be an end. So just like water is good with wine, that's how we drunk our wine, that's how the Jews drunk, we drunk our wine with water. He said just like wine and water is pleasant, so telling a good story is pleasant also. So telling this great story of how our enemy Nicanor was defeated by the hand of Judas Maccabees and Israel. All right, and we made a day of celebration out of it, eating, drinking, feasting. The 13th day of the month of Adar, the 12th month, the day right before Mordecai's day on Purim. All right, so all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushua. All right, that's the feast or the day of Judas Maccabees. And like I said, Salakia, y'all can read all of 1 Maccabees 7 and also read Second Maccabees 14. You can read 14 and 15 again. 14 goes a little bit into more details about the tension between Nicanor and Judas. All right, so y'all can get more information on that, but just for the sake of time, it's late. We just went straight to 15. All right, so you know, Ashar, Yawam, Yahawada, Makwabath. Happy day of Judas or Judah Maccabees. All right, because Judas is just Greek for Judah. All right, his name was Judah, but he was a Levite. His name was Judah Maccabee, but he was a Levite. And if y'all notice, check something out, right? Y'all notice that movie came out this month, Judas and the Black Messiah. All right, now it's supposed to be Black History Month. All right, now this is some true so-called Black history for you right here, because everybody we reading about, except for Esau, of our people are people of color. We know the Jews are black, dark, Negroes, West Indian, Haitian. All right, the Northern King. We know we different shades of brown or so-called black. All right, but notice how they come out in February, so-called Black History Month, the month where we celebrate the day of Judas Maccabees, Judas and the Black Messiah. All right, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on now. Oh, elder, that don't mean nothing. That's a conspiracy. You just nah. Are they trying to tell us something?
Man, they telling us.
Are they trying to tell us something? Do they know that Judas Maccabees, Judah Maccabee, was a black man? Judas and the Black Messiah? The movie is based upon the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, I saw some of the movie. I didn't watch all of it. I streamed some of it. I gotta watch the rest of it. But if I seen one movie about the Black Panthers, I seen them all. I watched so many documentaries on the Black Panthers, and I read up on them so much. I basically know the story, how they set up Fred Hampton and how they infiltrated the Panthers and all that. But I'm gonna still watch the movie for edification. But I don't know. It just maybe I'm am I reaching, y'all? Maybe I'm reaching, but it's so-called Black History Month. Most of the time, Purim and Day of Judas Maccabees fall in February. Mostly every year. They could fall in early March. Sometimes they might fall in early March. But for the most part, depending on how you calculate your new moons, mostly every year, the Day of Judas Maccabees and Purim is going to fall in February. They're going to fall sometime in February, normally. So, it's just things that make you go, like Arsenio used to say. Judas and the Black Messiah. That's what you name a movie. Now we know the whole Judas term is based upon a turncoat. So basically, the title of the movie is also based upon J. Edgar Hoover's COINTELPRO program, where J. Edgar Hoover did brief the FBI, and he said, we have to stop the rise of any Black Messiah. So, what did they do? They sent a Judas, or many Judases, into the Black Panther Party to infiltrate it and to set up Fred Hampton. And y'all know the story. The Chicago police killed the brother, turned his damn house into Swiss cheese. All right, the CIA, along with the FBI and the Chicago police, they set up the murder of brother Fred Hampton. All right, but it came down from the CIA. But J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI, was a big part of it. But they said, we must stop the rise of any Black Messiah. So they named the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, like Judas in the scriptures that betrayed Yahushua. Oh. All right, or they got a saying. They call it a Judas goat. You're a goat. You got a goat. You're a Judas goat. You're a turncoat. All right. They had the book